Safety Administration, and the Ad Council.
Stephen A. Smith on San Antonio Sports Leader.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. KZDC San Antonio. Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. On the go at ESPNSA.com. Welcome aboard. It is another big game coverage edition brought to you by Dietz Tractor. And Jason, compliments to you, the man with the little black book, the man with the many numbers to be had. We have got a chock full of nuts kind of show. Lots and lots of guests are coming your direction. Coming up in a I'll leave it to you to define which kind of nut. But this is what we got. Coming up in about 15 minutes, Jeff Fisher, former NFL head coach. We know him from the Titans. And, it just dawned on me. He was with the Titans and the Oilers and the Titans. And he was with the Rams and the Rams. Two teams, both moved. And
that's kind of interesting. He had a cup of coffee with the Alliance like the rest of us. So I got to know him a little bit. Yeah.
Hopefully he got paid. We'll talk with Jeff Fisher.
Trinity Days with Jeff Fisher.
Yeah,
Oilers
no kidding.
training camp in San Antonio.
You could actually stumble into Oilers training camp, just like happen upon it. Like, what's this? Oh, it's a training camp. You can't park
those guys stumbling down on the river walk after practice.
No kidding, man. That was the difference between the two was always amazing to us. We also have a big Spurs game tonight. The dreaded Timberwolves are in town. Are they slump busters or not? We'll get ready for a game tonight at 6:30, the game night San Antonio, and prepare you all the way through. About 4:30, we'll dive right in. Mark Schlereth, Stinky, will join us. Stinky, who used to urinate on himself in games to, just to kind of fire up his teammates, is going to join us. We won't talk that, I'm sure, but we will talk football with one of the great personalities of the NFL. He'll join us, NFL analyst, Super Bowl champ. He won one with the Washington football team, but I prefer to remember him as a Bronco. He'll jump in with us. Mike Golic Sr., the godfather, the daddy, will be joining us at 5:30. Yeah, call the friends, call your family, gather around the Victrola. Listen, Mike will join us. It's always good to catch up with a guy who I didn't think we'd be talking to this Super Bowl, to be quite frank.
Oh, he'd be around doing something. And, it's funny because I did get to talk to him briefly at the Valero Alamo Bowl as he was making his final rounds as a member of ESPN. But he's got some things in the works, and it's the Super Bowl. Yeah. Mike Golic and us on Radio Row has got to happen.
It happened again. It happens again this year. We'll have him. But I am not done. We're cooking. Mark Singleton will join us. We're doing everything you can possibly do with a pork rind and made with the best Southern recipe small batch pork as we get ready for the big game on Sunday. I'm sure a fine recipe is in the offing. Another wonderful dip to be put together and paired with one of the best pork rinds we can have. I left Bart Scott too, didn't I? I just flew right past Bart Scott.
Can't wait.
I can't wait. Let's not tell about her. He might say that to me. Bart Scott will be here a little bit before that, about 5 o'clock. So, my goodness, it is the big game is upon us. I do think that the scare today, or the story that broke Monday about the two Kansas City Chief guys that were contact traced. Well, the story behind that has come out today. Jason, have you heard any of this story and how catastrophic this could have been? There's a series on Netflix that I stumbled onto that was like terrible terrorist things that were nearly, almost happened. They were averted and diverted at the last moment. This is one of those things that happened up in Kansas City.
Well, when you first hear it, you go, well, these two guys are out because they got contract traced to the barber. They were getting a haircut. We're like, are you kidding me? Well, this was the team barber. He, gets tested every day, up there every day. A lot of those guys get their haircut every week or on game day. A lot of people have that kind of ritual. Well, he's in the stadium. He's an employee, so he gets through the first two guys. Now, he's all masked up in all his protective gear and all of that. Well, he tests when he shows up for work, and he's two guys in, and they come and get him and say, well, you positive, man. You got to go. Patrick Mahomes was on the appointment list for that day to be able to go see him, along with 20 other dudes or whatever the number was. I mean, this could have been, and again, it's the COVID world. It's, I'm just
was
glad
it the
that was
barber?
inverted.
It wasn't an All-State barber, was it? Does he give everybody the Patrick Mahomes cut on the Kansas City Chiefs he does?
That's the State Farm barber.
State Farm, sorry.
Which is surprising to me.
I don't want to peg myself to a particular brand.
They let the progressive dude in there. As long as it's not the lizard with clippers, we're okay. Because if you see a lizard with clippers, it's State Farm. Yeah,
so everybody...
because if you want the Patrick Price, you got to get your haircut looking like that. And he has perfected it.
It was him.
I think it was the lady with the apron on. She was probably the one sneaking in there trying to steal that business.
Of all the insurance commercials that we just talked about, we actually haven't brought up the best one. I don't know about y'all's house, but the one that talks about you becoming your parents. The guy who teaches the class for young people that have become their parents after they bought a home. That is the funniest.
Wait, which
series of commercials?
But what company?
It's Geico.
Is that a Geico one? Okay.
No, it's Progressive, isn't it?
I thought it was
Progressive.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's the one right now that comes on. It's the two dudes and the ice cream and the rap song. You get more chocolate. That's the one that gets me going now.
Yeah,
the other one just makes me laugh. Is that Progressive too?
No. The becoming your parents is Progressive.
That's Progressive?
Yeah.
You're progressively becoming your parents.
By the very fact that I can't recall what the commercial's about means I am, in fact, the demographic they're making fun of. But
yes, sir.
All of that is completely true. They kind of define me.
And I have seen Rob trying to help people back up in a parking lot before when they didn't ask. I mean, yeah. I mean, you see them there, somebody with blue hair. Oh, my goodness, it's there.
Below. The waiter doesn't need to know your name.
That's what I tell my wife every time.
Howdy, Jim. I'm Rob.
Howdy, Jim. I'm Rob. This is little Mrs. Kelly, and nice to meet you.
Well, the sad part is, Rob's going to say, "What is your name?" "Oh, my name is Jack." When it comes back with the food, it was like, "Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it." It's not like Rob's going to get the name right anyway, even if it's written real big on his chest.
Oh, good.
What's your name? Bill. I'm going to call you Ted for the rest of the night because you remind me of someone. This is the little Mrs. What's your name?
Good old Jim O'Brien.
We're just going to progress through the evening. I'm going to leave you a really, really small tip. So let's get things started with a very difficult order because I'm allergic to several things. Okay, let's get the show started. Coming back, let's talk to. Hey guys, take a deep breath. Jeff Fisher's coming. Head football coach, Montana resident, job applicant. His name's been floating around for a variety of gigs. We'll have to ask him about that. Jeff Fisher and his perspective on the NFL and all things COVID coming up this direction. Lots to do, so hang around. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Jason Minix here for New Brakes, nubrakes.com. New Brakes is a mobile brake shop. They will come to you to fix your brakes. At New Brakes, they've made getting your brakes repaired easy, convenient, and affordable. I've been telling you about it the other day. Roland reached out to me on Facebook and asked, hey, tell me about them. He just messaged me a little while ago. New Brakes just finished with my car, and wow. I remember what the last brake job on my car ran. They were prompt. They arrived at the designated time, finished rotators and brakes in about 45 minutes. Thanks for the recommendation. I'll tell you what, if you think your brakes are bad or they're bad and they need to get fixed, get them fixed. Schedule your repair now at nubrakes.com, nubrakes.com. They only fix brakes. Most repairs are done in less than an hour, and they use premium brake parts and back all repairs with a 24-month 24,000-mile warranty. Go read all their 5-star reviews. If your brakes are bad or you think they're going bad, get them fixed. Cold, wet weather, it can be hard on your brakes. Newbrakes.com. Go there, schedule your repair, save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN San Antonio. Newbrakes.com. That's nubrakes.com.
Game nights, the Blitz goes silver and black.
This is DeJounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
Game Night San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom. 30 minutes before every game night on the Blitz.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Before we rodeo San Antonio, mosey on over to Dietz Tractor. We're busting out of the chutes early with a stock full of LS tractors. And this is no 8-second ride. Take your time and choose from a field that includes compact and utility tractors at low prices. Excel in your field with LS Tractor, 6-time winner of the EDA Dealer's Choice Award. Backed by a limited 6-year warranty, LS Tractors will give you more standard features and more performance for less money. These are some of the hottest tractors around, and Dietz Tractor wants to sell them to you today at unbelievable prices. Dietz Tractor, where you get more tractor for less.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Take your romance game to a whole new level this Valentine's with Diamonds Direct's most popular offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase happening right now. You know jewelry is the perfect gift to celebrate your love. And with this incredible offer, you can afford to go big. Like a $6,000 diamond tennis bracelet, just $100 a month. Or a $3,000 pair of diamond earrings, just $50 a month. Diamonds Direct has teamed up with the world's top jewelry designers for an expanded selection of Valentine's surprises for any budget. Romantic gifts starting as low as $400. Rings, earrings, pendants, bands, colored gemstones. The guaranteed largest selection, highest quality, and always the best value. Whether you shop in store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Make this the most memorable Valentine's ever with 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase, including engagement rings. Now through Valentine's Day. Celebrate your love at Diamonds Direct.
At the shops at La Cantera. The 55th Super Bowl is this weekend, and DraftKings, the official daily fantasy sports partner of Super Bowl 55, has up to $55 million in total prizes up for grabs. Download the DraftKings app and use code CJR to enter the free $55 million Super Bowl prediction challenge. Everyone gets an instant prize up to $25,000 just for playing. That's code CJR, only at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of Super Bowl 55. Terms, conditions, and eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Wendy's is dropping the hammer with 2 made-to-order breakfast sandwiches for just $4.
So if you've been wronged by pre-made breakfast and their frozen folded eggs and rubbery microwaved bacon,
get to Wendy's and get the breakfast you deserve. Like the honey butter chicken biscuit, classic bacon, egg, and cheese, and the classic sausage, egg, and cheese. Choose any 2 of them for just $4. Justice is served. Only at Wendy's. We got you.
Offer valid for limited time only. Price and participation may vary at U.S. Wendy's. Single item at regular price.
Dietz Tractors presents ESPN San Antonio's Big Game coverage. Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio, 94.5 FM and on the go at ESPNSA.com. Your Big Game coverage continues, brought to you by Dietz Tractor, presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Boy, we're excited about this, aren't we, Jason? We'd like to welcome on the show football coach and just a man about the wiles, Jeff Fisher. Welcome on the Blitz, Coach. It's a pleasure to have you aboard.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity, guys. How you doing?
We are doing well. I'm trying to think, first met you at Oilers training camp at Trinity University back in the early 1990s. It goes a long way back.
94, I was the defensive coordinator. We're Jack Pardee. 95, we came back. I was full time, and that was Steve McNair. And actually, 96, we came back, and that was the year we drafted Eddie George. So yes, and then I was in town recently, a couple years ago. I was helping out. You guys are aware of the Alliance, and I was kind of behind the scenes helping Bill Pulley and Charlie Ebersol, and so I spent some time there in San Antonio, kind of behind the scenes, trying to, believe it or not, I was like this conduit between the coaches and technology. Go figure. But I'm not a technical person. But anyway, so yeah, how's it going? Hey, let me ask you guys a question.
Sure.
Let's go back to draft in April. Would you guys have thought they'd have pulled this off the season?
No.
Coach, it's been a strange world because, we're talking to you. We're doing a live radio show sitting in our individual living rooms. So, and we had kind of, gotten into that pool before the NFL had started talking about handling the draft. Now, certainly the technical and the logistic issues, those were ridiculous. But I think we've all been a bit surprised at how technically capable we had to become and so quickly. And I think that's happened around, in every industry. But I think in the world of football, with the technological changes that you've seen since you walked away, Coach, what do you think is going to hang from all this? What's going to stay? Because I do feel like we've had to do some things new and in different ways that there are some parts of this that I think football teams and players appreciate.
Well, there are, I think from a timing standpoint, just the basic taking care of yourself, and being smart about your choices and understand the implications of a bad decision. I guess my point to it is we're 3 or 4 days away from the Super Bowl, and the NFL and the Players Association and the medical community somehow got together and they figured it out without having to cancel a game. Now things were moved around a little bit, and here we are. And the cool thing about for the fans and the listeners and across the country is we're going to have a Super Bowl on Sunday, and it happens to be a amazing matchup for a lot of different reasons. But I just think, I think that, hey, I've been in the NFL all my life, and somebody needs to pay attention to what they did with respect to this pandemic. So anyway, I'm just really excited for the commissioner and everybody else that they're able to pull this off. And
absolutely.
Yeah, the other side of it is, you don't want an asterisk next to this Super Bowl championship because of the COVID. But the one thing that is I'm a little, just kind of baffled at is the fact that so many guys lost their jobs in this season, which is a different season. Altogether because of the fact it's COVID. But nonetheless, I'm just really excited about and happy for the league that they're able to pull this off, and you got Patrick Mahomes scoring off against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and that's ultimately, there will be no asterisk. You've got 2 teams that were projected to be there that are going to play in the Super Bowl, and you mentioned it, the draft, I didn't know. Watching the NBA go into the bubble, NHL goes into a bubble, baseball didn't. We saw some issues then. But to see football pull it off at the NFL level, every high school broadcast that we had scheduled this year, we were able to do without any issues. And so, yeah, I think everybody learned some things. I'm curious from you as a coach, and, I've seen you coach when you were with the Oilers and the Titans, and then, we all saw you on Hard Knocks there with the Rams and whatnot. From a technology standpoint, could you imagine or take us what it's like for the coaches trying to do Zoom meetings instead of regular team meetings and not having the interaction that you would normally have inside those meeting rooms? What's it been like for the coaches to prepare their teams to play every week?
Well, it's certainly different. It's certainly a challenge. And imagine that, you don't know up until, 24 hours before kickoff who you're going to go in with, because you're concerned that somebody's going to be associated with some contract tracing that prohibits them from playing. So you're starting a practice squad player that had practiced in the game plan. And you got 24 hours to get them ready. But, technology certainly, obviously, it's changed. I remember back, and now this is 5 or 6, 7 years ago when, your whole playbook was now on a tablet.
Right.
And so when you stand in front of your team and say, hey, guys, go to page whatever, section whatever, and everybody looks down in their lap rather than looking at you. It's different. And so you take that and multiply it by about 100. I mean, it's a different, it's a different approach. And so, but they found a way and they managed it. And that's just not the NFL. That's college programs, high school programs. It's all tech. It's all, fortunately we had technology to be able to pull it off. Now, I would caution everybody, let's understand, where we could be if we're not careful with too much technology. You got a Star Wars game that you're staring at the eye. And for years, the NFL was they were opposed or they would just take baby steps with respect to technology because they didn't want that. They, from everything competitive.
Right.
I mean, even the gloves. I mean, we threw gloves out. We wouldn't approve gloves because they had too much stickum on them. Now the guys can, catch that ball with the back of his hand. So, it's just that.
Well, we would have never had Odell if it wasn't for the glove, Coach.
Anybody else? Okay, hey, I'll date you guys. Freddie Blitnikoff used to, in rainy games, bad weather games, he would take thumbtacks inside, push the tack itself off his fingertips so he could snatch that ball.
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That would be about right.
Yeah.
And that's above and beyond all the stickum that he had up and down his arms.
That's right. So the league's come a long way.
Coach, this brings up something, Coach. You were on the competition committee up until you left back in 2016, and certainly still been involved with the game in a variety of facets. But add on football fan to that over the last 5 years. As you've watched the game from a fan's perspective, if that's even possible for a former coach, what would you change if you could jump back on the competition committee next week and you've seen something that you might not have realized as a fan instead of someone on the inside?
Well, I mean, I think their attempt 2 years ago to change the pass interference was a nightmare, and I think the league's traditionally has followed this path. And okay, if something takes place during the season and we need to discuss a rule change to clean it up or what have you, then okay, we'll talk about it. We'll go into depth with respect to what are those unintended consequences that we can't even imagine. So let's just do it for a year. But so there's little things that have changed over time. To me, I mean, I think the game is good. Right now, there's some rules, some rule changes and things like that. I think that they need to take a look at. But I'll just remind you guys, every time you tweak something because of a play that happened, or somebody intentionally sent too many men on the field, so the play would stop, so that the play clock would be reset to and they would gain a couple more seconds on it. That kind of stuff, the manipulation, the rules. I mean, we did it, the whole time I was there. I mean, there's rules in the playbook that in the rule book now they're there because they weren't there and we took advantage of them. So that's an evolving process. But, I don't know. I mean, I just think, well, you saw what the onside kick did the other day. I hate that they give that up completely. And I'm all in favor of player safety. The one thing that just from an outside, observer, I guess is what you would call me now, is everything is so, concussion and the head trauma and the contact and player safety related that there's two things I see that happen right now that I laugh at. Okay. When a guy's dinged and he comes out of the game, what does he do? Number one, why does he come out of the game? Because you can check to see maybe if he has some kind of head trauma or brain injury. Okay. So, and what you don't want him to do is to go back in the game because you don't want him running around, right? Okay. But what does the guy do? He goes into the tent, and then how many guys run into the locker room to go through their test? They run.
Yeah.
And that's so hypocritical of what they're trying to do. Okay. So that being one, it's just like, wait a minute. The other thing is blows to the head. Okay, now I'm gonna piss off every running back out there, but some of the straight arm stuff is getting a little out of hand. That's
with the knockout
blow to the head.
Yeah.
So we're all worried about head trauma and all the concussion stuff, but we're left with running back knock out a defensive back.
Yeah,
spoken like a
Coach,
true
that
safety
creates-
coach.
Yeah,
with
it
the
creates
palm?
great memes, and you're right. From a former safety, I don't know how some of these defensive players sometimes honestly can play the game that way. I'm just glad the NFL isn't like at the college level where if you get targeting, you're tossed out of the game. I think college needs to address that part of it.
Yeah. I think I agree. I think the replay thing is good, and they're doing the best they can, and leadership is good. I just think there needs to be, anytime you have, you get organizations and unions and things like that involved, there's always, you always don't come to the right solutions. And I just think that they got to watch out for that. I think there's some things that can improve in the league. I'll keep them to myself because there's people that are opposed to it, not for the real reason.
Come on.
Ain't nobody listening right now. Coach, just one of them. Just throw one of those out because I'm pretty sure we'll agree with you. I'm pretty sure we'll be on your side. Because he is Jeff Fisher, former head football coach for the Titans. The Rams, been around the league forever. And Coach, I keep seeing your name popping up in coaching searches. Are you itching to get back in the game? And it looks like it's on that college level. What do you feel like you could bring to the collegiate level from all of your experience on the pro side?
Well, I'd say this. I said when I got into the NFL, I didn't have much time to prepare for coaching. I went from player to a coach, and I learned on the run. I've had a couple of years to spend time in the college game, so I'm much more prepared. But the game's a game, and so if you're a professional golfer, or you're a professional tennis player, or whatever, and your career's over, you still play golf,
right?
You still play tennis. Okay, you can't coach, and so I love coaching. I miss the sideline. I miss the players. And, I've been in it for a long time. I have all kinds of stories and experiences and things that you guys can't even imagine. And so, I have interest in getting back. And so I have spent some time at the college game. And so, there's been, I have talked to several programs and, I just want to make sure that it's right. And if I get the opportunity, fine. If I don't, I'm really good with it, particularly because of what we're going to talk about here in a moment.
Absolutely.
And the things that I'm doing off the field. And, coaching is teaching. It's a leadership position. You lead an organization, you build organizations, but the bottom line is you get to impact the players on a daily basis. And that's what you want. And that's where the rewards are. The reward in coaching, the ultimate one is here Sunday. But those daily rewards in the profession are really no different than a teacher down the street at the high school. They're teaching young boys and girls, men and women, to be adults and leaders in the community, and you just have that relationship with them. So, I've said this many times. When I took over, you alluded to it, 1994, 95, my first year. 80% of my time was X's and O's, man, and 20% of my time was the other stuff. When I left, it was flipped. And
he is Jeff Fisher.
Now, not that I neglected it, but you have coordinators and you have people who do that. And you're involved. It's not that you don't understand or know it or can't do it, but where is the time spent? The time is spent making sure that your group of players at any level is, one, prepared mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually for the day, whether that's a practice or that's a game. And that's the responsibility of the head coach. Yeah, so anyway,
absolutely, Coach. It is that camaraderie that is so important to people in a lot of different fields. And as we've worked with the good groups like Sierra Delta and the Wounded Warriors Foundation and all the work that they do, every year during the Super Bowl, there is a Wounded Warrior football game where football types, Hall of Famers and all that come together with amputees from our different services, play a football game, break bread, and share common experiences of what it's like to be on a team. And these Wounded Warriors have offered everything, done everything they can. And it's time for us to kind of help. You and I both, Coach and Jason, we've all worked with BJ Ganem of Sierra Delta and their ongoing efforts to get veterans back into life with the use of dogs, service dogs, both legitimate service dogs and just companionship dogs. And speak to your experience with Wounded Warriors and Sierra Delta, Coach, and what it means to be a part of a great group like them.
My experience goes way back. I climbed Kilimanjaro with the Wounded Warrior Project. 4 soldiers, 2 single amputees, did a USO tour, was all over Iraq, talking to the troops. I jumped out of an airplane with 101st Air Assault Cadre and landed on a practice field here when I was coaching the Titans. Okay, you imagine if you did that now? But so yeah, we've been involved, and the cool thing is the respect. There's this respect for players, NFL players, college players for that matter, and our armed forces. There's a respect, and I oftentimes over the years talk to the teams about this. It's like, guys, yeah, this is a cool thing. They're going to come in. We're going to da-da-da-da-da. And guess what? You guys are defending the goal line, okay? And you're worried about pulling your hamstring. They're defending the country and giving their lives. So, yeah, there's a respect, but let's keep it in perspective here, okay? Who truly deserves the respect? It's them. And so, yeah, BJ's on it. Sierra Delta stands for Service Dogs. You know, and I'm cool. I'm excited to be a part of it. And, you know, not going to have a game this year. They've had a game for the last 10 years, NFL alumni and veterans, not happening because of COVID. So we got a whole year to get ready to prepare for the next one. And in the meantime, we're going to raise awareness and attention and, you know, we just need help. It's essential. It's critical. And
it is critical
to the livelihood, to the life. It's a life-saving ordeal. So there you have it, man. It's
SierraDelta.com, the attention and the money that still needs to be raised in lieu of having the football game this year. The need is there. The mission that they have at Sierra Delta, incredible, and something that Rob and I and Coach Fisher are certainly behind. Coach, always great to catch up. Any breaking news you want to have? I know you put on your Twitter a photo from a plane, lots of snow on that ground, and what looks to be a pretty nice college town up in the Pacific Northwest.
I hear Bozeman's lovely this time of year.
Get a coat.
I have a cabin. About I don't know 80 miles from there since the 1990s. I'm a Montana resident, and I have a lot of friends. And so I was just shouting out to a lot of my friends.
You don't want to shout no Bobcats?
You know what? My son was the Grizz. They were 52-6 over his 5 years with the Grizzly program. So I understand Montana football. I mean, you have a Cat bar and you have a Grizz bar in Montana. If you want to go on and get your ass kicked, just walk into one of the others. That's one of those. That's how that world is up there. So anyway,
I'll tell you, Coach,
I'm fond. That's my home.
Certainly, I bet you get free pass into both, and probably somebody will buy you beer in either one.
No, I on my way into town, I'm buying dog food. So feed my dogs. So,
Coach, it's always a pleasure to catch up with one of those guys that I've admired from afar. Jeff Fisher, it's been a pleasure.
I appreciate you guys.
Speaking with you. Keep yourself safe and keep up all the good work you do.
Okay. Thanks for the opportunity, guys. Bless you. See ya.
Yeah, Coach.
Good stuff.
Jeff Fisher. Yeah, he's exactly like I thought he was. I mean, we got a taste of it on Hard Knocks a couple years ago. He's a good dude. But
when there's no stress in his life, he's a great dude. Absolutely.
He was on the competition committee.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad I got to read that bio.
I remember talking to him once in the Alliance. I'm wondering if he was on the other end of that phone wearing sunglasses inside.
I guarantee you, and that little loop around it just in case he can drop him down. And coming back, the Spurs got on the T-Wolves tonight. The injury report is growing longer. I think they need to learn how to stretch out a little differently. Same injury, several different places. We'll talk about it next. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. I woke up this morning. It is the big game week, and this is the week that's dedicated to fine dining around a big TV screen. And I head into the weekend knowing I know exactly what I'm going to eat. I'll probably indulge as everybody else will, but I'm comfortable in the fact that I'm on a plan. I'm in a lifestyle that the weight gain is no longer an issue. I can trust that I can cheat is not the term I like, but I can widen my horizons every now and then without really any repercussions. Because when I met Dr. Torres down at the Institute for Functional Health, he explained to me how important what I put into my body is and how I put it into my body and when I put it into my body plays a huge role in that. Dr. Torres put together a specific program just for me, and it goes far beyond a diet. This is a change in my lifestyle, a wellness move that is supervised by a medical professional. Dr. Torres and his great staff have taken care of me for over 18 months now, and I couldn't be happier. If you are dealing with being obese or nearly obese, or someone in your household is, and it's made the decision, the resolve, really, to go ahead and change their life, I highly recommend. I cannot implore you enough to call and speak with Dr. Torres. This is the number, 210-468-1891. 210-468-1891. His website is the instituteforfunctionalhealth.com. Now, if you go there, a great eye-opener is to take the functional health test. You'll find out a lot about yourself. But the bottom line is, if you're not working with a medical professional, if you don't have a program put aside and made specifically for you with your genetics and your biology involved, what are you doing? Go to the very best and do the best you can for yourself. You owe it to you. Call the Institute for Functional Health. Get on a program that's going to literally change your life. It did for me. Make that call, and I'm sure you'll thank me later.
Sundays are for the grill. The Sunday Sports Grill, 11 in the morning to 1. Chop it up and grill with former and current Rock the Mic champs Michael Jimenez and Quinn Hudson. The Sunday Sports Grill, 11 to 1 every Sunday.
If you were hurt in an accident, Thomas J. Henry can help. Let us help you get a rental car, make your medical appointments, and even advance money on qualifying cases. If you've been hurt, start your claim today at tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio, San Antonio, Texas.
Well, San Antonio, it's official. 2020 is hindsight, and it couldn't happen soon enough. Chip Ingram here from the Root Hub. As 2021 takes over, we're excited for NFL playoffs, the new look Spurs, and the prospect of life without masks and curfews and daily briefings. I want to thank you personally for your support through one hell of a year, and invite you to keep coming back to the Root Hub, located at 281 in Redland Road. See you at the Root.
You're ready to get back into yoga, so you order the essentials. A non-slip mat, yoga blocks to keep balance, and an exercise ball. And you use your Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping and up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member, which you put towards your most essential yoga gear. Noise-canceling headphones.
Welcome. Take a deep breath.
Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more rewarding. Copyright 2020 Bank of America Corporation.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app. Discover and enjoy your favorite music, news, and talk radio from live stations across the country. Listen anywhere on all mobile and home devices with the radio.com app.
Take your romance game to a whole new level this Valentine's with Diamonds Direct's most popular offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase. Happening right now. You know jewelry is the perfect gift to celebrate your love. And with this incredible offer, you can afford to go big. Like a $6,000 diamond tennis bracelet, just $100 a month. Or a $3,000 pair of diamond earrings, just $50 a month. Diamonds Direct has teamed up with the world's top jewelry designers for an expanded selection of Valentine's surprises for any budget. Romantic gifts starting as low as $400. Rings, earrings, pendants, bands, colored gemstones. The guaranteed largest selection, highest quality, and always the best value. Whether you shop in store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Make this the most memorable Valentine's ever with 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase, including engagement rings, now through Valentine's Day. Celebrate your love at Diamonds Direct.
At the shops at La Cantera.
Progressive presents an interview with your upstairs neighbor.
My name's Barry. I live right above you. I don't host parties. I host after parties. They're like parties, only louder and nobody goes home. You can see right here, I ripped out all the carpeting because it was holding me back, my pogo stick. Man's got a pogo. Oh, I'm a prankster. I'll grease up a soda can, and then when somebody grabs it, boom!
Progressive can't save you from your upstairs neighbor, but we can save you money when you bundle renters and auto insurance with us. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it. So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense and tune in to Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Dietz Tractors presents ESPN San Antonio's Big Game Coverage. Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds.
It is the Blitz. You're on ESPN San Antonio. The Blitz is brought to you by the Thompson Law Firm. Jason Thompson. His website's alawyer4us.com. Reach out. Find him as soon as you can. If you've been injured in an auto collision, call Jason Thompson as soon as possible. He'll get to work for you. That first call, that consultation is absolutely free all the time. 210-900-0400. We're going to talk with Stink. Mark Schlereth is going to join us in here just a couple of minutes as we look forward to a big game coming up as your Dietz Tractor big game coverage continues. Spurs get the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight. The slump busters, we hope. When last DeMar DeRozan saw the Timberwolves, he got 38 points. We might need a fair amount of those tonight because Rudy Gay has joined the injured list with LaMarcus with a hip flexor problem.
One's a left one, one's a right one, but they're both hip flexors, and they're both out. I think hip flexor is the 2021 version of plantar fasciitis. I don't know what to make. No Rudy. Are they? Obviously they got to replace a lot of points with no LaMarcus and no Rudy Gay tonight. But on the defensive side, doesn't that kind of make them a little bit better?
They
don't have the bigs with. LaMarcus, so you got Jakob, but overall defensively, they might actually be a little bit better.
Well, the good news is they won't have to deal with Karl Anthony Towns. The big cat is out on COVID protocols. Let's hope he stays safe, given what he has had to go through this year. They'll also be without Jarrett Culver and my favorite guy in the NBA's name, or NBA names game, Juancho Hernan-Gomez will not be out in the night. He's dealing with some injury management. Juancho might be the best name in the entire world. If I'd have known that Juancho was a name back when my kids were being born, I would have a young Juancho Thompson.
Your next dog.
Maybe. I'm telling you, that is a name, the likes of which, it's like when Shaquille appeared on the landscape and you knew it was never going away. That was going to pick up, and now we got Shaqs running around everywhere.
Sure.
Juancho needs to be a name that takes over.
How do you spell Juancho?
It's as it sounds. It doesn't matter. Juan Cho. So you can figure it out. There's probably a C and an H in there, but you can throw an X. I don't care. But Juancho, that's the kind of name you could yell in a crowd and people won't look at you crazy. You yell out Juancho, people are like, this guy's here to party. Juancho!
They're all going to look at you crazy. All of them. Everybody's going to look at you crazy. And the poor kid, third grade, everybody, you got to get up and say your name, or the substitute teacher trying to pronounce your name. Yeah.
Juancho. You got a nickname like Juancho, man. You're down for anything. What's Juancho doing? Whatever's fun, man. Wherever Juancho's at, things are happening. Except at the game tonight, Juancho Hernan-Gomez will be out. Hey, coming up, let's talk with another great nickname, Stink. Mark Schlereth will join us, 3-time Super Bowl champ and full-time NFL expert. We're going to talk football and Chili's coming up. Mark Schlereth right around the bend. Hang around. Don't forget, Bart Scott will be here at 5. Oh, my goodness, the train's leaving the station. You're on the Blitz at 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Now, obviously, the big game is coming up on Sunday. You want to make sure you get all the best meats for your grill because it is that kind of a day, and the weather's going to be fantastic. You need to get into Tri-County Meat Market. They're locally owned, full service, and they have carefully selected certified prime Angus beef cuts, Wagyu, upper choice. They have everything you need to up your grilling game. And you think about this weekend, they got the beef, the chicken, the pork, fajitas, poppers, more. The pig 5 for $25. But Rob, the specials this week are perfect for the big game on Sunday.
Gather around, my friends. Your grill is calling. It's the big game, so do it right. And Tri-County has got you hooked up. 3-bone plate ribs, they're $8.99 a pound. 4-bone chuck ribs, those are $7.99 a pound. That's a steal right there. Sirloin fajitas, oh my goodness, $11.99 a pound. Your choice of brisket, $3.99 a pound. Where'd they get this? This is good deals. And don't forget that they have all the American-made chicken wings, which will be on my grills for sure, coming up at $4.99 a pound. Tri-County will be closing at 3 on Super Bowl Sunday. Plan your menus appropriately. Why is everybody laughing? What did I say?
Figure out what American-aided chicken wings are. They've got the marinated ones, and apparently
the
American-aided.
They have their marinated chicken wings. Americanated? That actually is good too.
Well,
that's those wings Americanated.
That's the secret spice. You get them Americanated. That's the secret spice.
Hey, first responders, you're going to get 10% off. Go get your Americanated wings and those great ribs. Head over to Tri-County right now and make sure you put a picture of what you grilled up on Thursday of next week when we do Grilling with the Blitz, and you too could win a $50 gift card to Tri-County. We'll be right back with The Stink. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
The ESPN San Antonio 10K Payday. This hour's winning word is football. Enter that word now at ESPNSA.com. Another reason it pays to listen to ESPN San Antonio all day, every day.
Great cash, homie.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
The biggest game in the NFL is February the 7th. Where are you watching? It's still the big game, and we're still throwing a party. Get to Twin Peaks and celebrate with 29-degree draft beers, the best views of the game, scratch food to feed the whole team. Twin Peaks.
It's the 55th Annual Football Championship, and you can follow all the action at betonline.net. Tampa Bay meets Kansas City on Sunday, and all eyes from around the world will be focused on what is expected to be a classic. Being billed as the perfect matchup of all time, it's the GOAT against his successor. In 4 previous meetings, each QB has won twice. Check out all the action this week at betonline.net as a true clash of the Titans is on tap. Always available online or your mobile device. Visit betonline.net today. Bring the game home at betonline.net.
The spread of COVID-19 is still unchecked across the nation, and you need to keep your family safe. Make a new habit and check your temperatures twice a day, once before dinner and before leaving home in the morning. You can't afford to take chances, so use the Exergen Temporal Scanner. Its accuracy is backed by more than 80 clinical studies, and it takes an accurate reading in seconds. It's the only home thermometer used and recommended by hospitals, doctors, and nurses. Quick and easy to use. You can count on Exergen to keep your family safe 24 hours a day.
Injuries happen. If you twist, pull, bump, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG has got you covered. Not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries and concussion baseline testing. Telemedicine services are available through Ortho Connect. If you're hurting, go to the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online, TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Some fuel system cleaner could help. It cleans your entire fuel system to help improve your fuel economy. Right now, you can get Chevron Techron Complete Fuel System Cleaner for just $4.99, plus a $1 bonus reward if you're an AutoZone Rewards member. Not a member? We can sign you up fast right here in store or on AutoZone.com. Getting the job done just got easier. Terms at AutoZone.com/rewards. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Progressive presents an interview with your upstairs neighbor.
Hi, I'm Tia. The upstairs-downstairs neighbor dynamic is so special. We have our own language. Like when I scream at my mom on the phone, the people downstairs bang on the ceiling to show their support. The nighttime's the best time to rearrange furniture. I call it midnight feng shui. And if I sleep through my alarm in the morning, they bang on my door to wake me. So thoughtful.
Progressive can't save you from your upstairs neighbor, but we can save you money when you bundle renters and auto insurance with us. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
Dietz Tractors presents ESPN San Antonio's Big Game coverage. Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. On the go at ESPNSA.com. And aren't you glad you're with us now? He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. We are joined by Stink Mark Schlereth for his annual gathering with the Blitz. Normally it's face-to-face. Now we are separated, but still together. Mark, welcome aboard, man. Good to catch up.
Oh, it's always a pleasure, man. Great to be with you guys.
You know, Mark, every time I see your bio, 12 years, Super Bowls, and then 29 surgeries during his playing career. To me, that is the one thing that on a bio you go, man, that just jumps off the page.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's 9 parts stupidity and 1 part complete and total lunacy is what that is. But hey, you know what? Everybody has their dream as a child, and my dream was to play in the NFL. And it's the road less traveled. Sometimes you just got to make any of your kind of plans or dreams come true. You got to be able to make sacrifices and understand that that's part of the that's part of the price. And so It just was kind of my story and something that, something that as a player I took pride in. I took pride in being able to play hurt, being able to play injured, and more importantly, being able to play well, hurt and injured. Because if you don't play well when you're hurt and injured, you no longer play. So that was always a point of pride for me.
Mark Schlereth, join us here on the Blitz. Growing up, one of the first things my dad always asked me, so are you hurt or are you injured? Because there is a big difference. 29 surgeries. Dude, do you get like a free one after 10? Do you get like a punch card and like your 12th surgery's free?
No, but I will tell you, at one point I had such a string going, and I had so many in a row, and I rolled in. They rolled me into an operating room probably right after the season. And so, you're laying on the slab and it's cold, and, the anesthesiologist comes in and asks you a series of questions, and then they administer the solution, whatever the stuff that puts you to sleep is, sodium pentothal or whatever it was at that point in time, and they'll tell you, hey, count back from 100. And you usually maybe get to 97 or so and you're out, right? And then you wake up in recovery. So the doctor goes, hey, man, I want you to count back from 100. So I'm like, 100, 99, 98, 97, 96, 95, 4, 3, 2, 1, 89, and he looks at me and he's like, are you serious? And I go, yeah, why? He goes, well, how do you feel? I go, I'm tired, but I'm not going to go to bed, And he goes, okay, hold on. So he goes and drums around back there for a little bit and goes, okay, count back from 100. And he administers and I'm out. So then he comes and checks on me in recovery, and he's like, how are you feeling? I go, I feel great. Why? And he's just absolutely astonished. And he goes, I gave you enough medicine to put down a horse. He goes, what are you? He's like, what have you been doing? Like I'm some type of freak show drug addict. I go, no, man, I just had a lot of surgery. I mean, it just takes a little bit more to put me down.
So then he went and got the horse tranks.
Yeah, no, man. That's how I think he was astonished that I woke up. He figured I'd be sleeping for the next 3 days.
Well, that guy's worried about his license and his future. Like, please wake up. Please wake up. Oh, thank God. Mark Schlereth is awake in recovery room, and he's with us now here on the Blitz. We're getting ready for Super Bowl 55. Kansas City, Tampa Bay. The fact that Kansas City is down a couple offensive linemen, it doesn't, from the line and everything, talk about the impact, Mark, of having, your tackle is out with an Achilles, so you're going to have a backup play, and you got another guy who probably is going to play at tackle. How does that affect the Kansas City offense? Because watching all the news coverage, it doesn't seem like it's going to, but I got to imagine it will.
Usually it does. I think this is one of the things that's fascinating about football is that so many times when your O-line doesn't do well or gives up a bunch of sacks or whatever the case may be, everybody points to the offensive line and goes, boy, those guys really suck, right? They gave up 6 sacks today. Well, inevitably, sacks to me and poor play up front, some of it has to do with the line, but a lot of it has to do with how plays are called. Do you put your players in positions to win? So my big thing is, hey, man, if I got to drop back 35 times and I've got to protect 35 times without ever actually being able to change things up, I don't care who you are. The offensive line, you're still exceptional athletes. You play professional football, but you're by far the worst athletes on the field. The transition, and I say this all the time, I've seen corners go to safety. I've seen safety go to linebacker. I've seen linebacker go to, D-line, D-end. I've seen D-ends move into offense or defensive tackles, and I've seen defensive tackles move to offensive guard, right? I've seen players transition. The transition from offensive line is fan. That you can't go anywhere else. It's the last rung on the ladder. So you're not going anywhere. So a lot of it has to do with how you call plays. And if you're going to drop back 35 times and you're going to throw 35 7-step drops, we're getting our ass kicked. You have to give an offensive lineman an opportunity to change up his pass sets, to have 3-steppers, to have quick 5-step drops, to run enough play action to where you take those 35 pass plays and you got 7 play action passes, and then you got 5 3-step drops, and you got a couple of smoke screens, and all of a sudden, what you're asking us to do is to block 12 times in critical situations where it's, deep 5-step drops with a hitch or a 7-step drop. That comes to coaching. And Andy Reid does it as well as anybody, with motions and with formations and with, slowing down the defense because they have to look at a bunch of stuff and they have to communicate from a formational standpoint, a personnel grouping standpoint, a fake motion standpoint. That's why they're so good, and that's why they'll probably be able to overcome the loss of a couple of offensive linemen.
He's Mark Schlereth joining us here on ESPN San Antonio, 3-time Super Bowl champ, Fox Sports NFL analyst, and maker of a fine green chili. Stinking good, if you might say. Mark, real quick, when we look at what Tampa Bay and Kansas City bring to the table, I was watching something earlier, Pro Football Focus, talking about Kansas City has far more great players, but Tampa Bay has a whole lot of good players with a few great players thrown in. Of the two, and I'm not talking about, Tampa versus Kansas City, but if you had to pick a team with a couple of greats and a lot to fill in the spaces or a bunch of goods, which team would you rather be on?
Well, first off, I don't put a lot of merit into what Pro Football Focus tells me. So I see a lot of great players on Tampa Bay as well. I think Godwin's a great player. I think Mike Evans is a great player. I think Levante David is a great player. I think Devin White is a great player. I think Antoine Winfield Jr., even though he's a rookie, is a great player. Tom Brady. So maybe I don't buy into that theory of great versus good. Ultimately, 2 great quarterbacks, old school Tom Brady versus new school in Patrick Mahomes. But I think both of these teams are exceptionally talented. The bottom line to me is, you look at Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The way they play the game is, we are going to put pressure on you. We're going to blitz you early. We're going to bring pressure first down, second down. We're going to try to steal a possession or two for our offense. Put you behind the chains, put you in third down and long, sack your quarterback, do those things. And their whole philosophy, and I played with Todd Bowles in Washington, his whole philosophical approach to football is, we're going to bring pressure on a consistent basis. We may give up 3 bad plays, 3 explosives, but we're going to make 8. And so we're going to win the explosive battle 8 to 3. So we're going to win it by 5. And that's how they do it. If you pick them up, if you don't allow them to get to your quarterback, you're going to beat them. Kansas City will beat them. If they allow that defense to affect Patrick Mahomes and create some turnovers, they'll win the game. So it's really a matchup of great defense versus exceptional offense to me.
Precision and aggression. This is Mark Schlereth. He is normally yoked. We expect that he still is. In this day and age, you got to make sure your facilities and your homes are completely clean. Pathogen Solutions has an answer for high traffic areas, keeping your shoes clean, correct?
Yeah, there's no question. Their shoe sanitizing unit, their stations are absolutely unbelievable. The technology is unbelievable behind this. 8 seconds you stand on this unit and your shoes are cleaned up to 99.999% of all pathogens, germs, and all disgusting stuff is killed on the bottom of your shoes. And, you track stuff into your work facility, that's an issue. And I tell you what, bringing us back to normal, we're used to washing our hands. We're used to wearing the masks. Part of being involved in sports is that community of sports fans, of getting together. I mean, it's so much better when you're together. And that's what they're doing. They're putting another layer of security so that we can get back to normal as soon as possible. So we can get the fans back in the stands so we can enjoy the games together. And I tell you what, there are several different facilities, several different places that are using this during the Super Bowl this week down in Tampa. So it's amazing. Patho3gen.com to find more information out.
Hey, Mark, we appreciate you, man. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Absolutely, guys. Be well.
Hey, that's great, man. Mark Schlereth right here on ESPN San Antonio. But we're not done, Jason. We're not done. Bart Scott's coming your direction.
Can't wait.
Let's talk some more football with a great former player and a current resident right here on our daytimes, 11 to 1. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Jason Minnick's here for BSG, the company that brings you the best in home security and smart home technology. You know you want the peace of mind a security system offers because you want to protect your family and your home. The security system in my home is from BSG. The video cameras, video doorbell, other features, they're fantastic, easy to use, and all-in-one app. Get a free basic smart home security system for as low as $29.95 a month. Free installation, no money down, no activation fee, and no payments for the first 6 months on select home security system packages. Just go to their website to learn more, bsgtexas.com/radio. I love the security system in my home, and BSG installed the same system at my mom's house. Large, easy-to-use LCD screen, and the icons on the panel are the same as what's on the app. If my 75-year-old mom can use it, so can you. It's easy, and you get that great peace of mind. BSG is San Antonio's home technology company, a great local company built on trust, quality, and safety. They're the best in the industry. Call them 210-877-1222 or go to the website bsgtexas.com/radio. Again, bsgtexas.com/radio.
The biggest football game of the year is this Sunday. Where will you be watching? Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, now with 4 San Antonio area locations, has everything you need to enjoy this year's big game safely. Drink specials, giveaways, good eats, giveaways, sound on, and more giveaways at all 4 Slackers locations. Slackers Super Sunday is going on this weekend at all 4 locations. Visit slackersbarssa.com. Slackersbarssa.com. Or find Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar on Facebook for more info.
Take your romance game to a whole new level this Valentine's with Diamonds Direct's most popular offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase happening right now. You know jewelry is the perfect gift to celebrate your love. And with this incredible offer, you can afford to go big. Like a $6,000 diamond tennis bracelet, just $100 a month. Or a $3,000 pair of diamond earrings, just $50 a month. Diamonds Direct has teamed up with the world's top jewelry designers for an expanded selection of Valentine's surprises for any budget. Romantic gifts starting as low as $400. Rings, earrings, pendants, bands, colored gemstones. The guaranteed largest selection, highest quality, and always the best value. Whether you shop in store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Make this the most memorable Valentine's ever with 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase, including engagement rings. Now through Valentine's Day. Celebrate your love at Diamonds Direct.
At the shops at La Cantera.
Good morning, privates!
Good morning, Drill Sergeant!
I mean, seriously, what a pleasant morning. The sun is shining and the birds are chirping.
You seem to be in a good mood today.
Astute observation.
He's probably happy because he found out Honey Nut Cheerios can help lower cholesterol as part of a heart-healthy diet.
They're even shaped like hearts. So, in lieu of the obstacle course today, I propose a nice meditative nature walk. Does that sound delightful to everyone?
Yes, Drill Sergeant!
Happy Heart Shapes are back for a limited time. Learn more about Honey Nut Cheerios by picking up a box at your local store.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facility safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Roger Staubach, San Antonio's sports leader, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, and 94.5 FM.
Where the pros play. KCDC San Antonio. Jason Minnick's, Rob Thompson, the Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, on the go at ESPNSA.com. Deets Tractor's big game coverage continues, brought to you by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. We got him working overtime. He just went off the air a couple hours back right here on ESPN San Antonio. He is the Bart of Bart and Hahn from 11 to 1 right here on ESPN San Antonio. Bart Scott, welcome on the Blitz, man. First time aboard, although you're on our air all the time. How's your life, man?
I tell you what, man, it can be better, man. I tell you what, why don't you have your sponsor send me some of those pork rinds, man? I do indulge. I indulge often. Hard to find good pork rinds.
Dude, you and go to porkrinds.com and the flavors. I mean, we won't. We'll make sure you get some, man.
This will happen.
That's for sure. Absolutely. Now, Bart, I got to ask. I mean, you've been doing radio in New York for a while, and now they put you on a national show. And at first, I'll be honest, we heard you guys were going to do a national show, and I was like, we're going to have a New York-centric show in South Texas. You guys are killing it, man. Yeah, I mean, what's the adjustment been like from doing a New York City local show to now going national?
Well, first of all, I appreciate that. But, I'm from the Midwest, so I'm used to – I have a different perspective anyway. I've just been on the East Coast, since on my professional career since 2002. But I got a little Midwest in me, as I was born and raised in Detroit. But, it's been fun. And, with the pandemic, it forced everybody to become a national show or talk about national topics, right? Because there was no sports to talk about. Hell, we made The Last Dance. We got 2 months out The Last Dance. We were sitting there talking about MJ forever. So, I mean, I feel like, the pandemic really prepared everybody to show what they were capable of, because every day you couldn't talk about sports. You had to mix in life. You had to mix in, past and present. It was one thing I'm glad that we didn't do. We didn't do the old all-time list. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's low-hanging fruit. And, I think that, people started to recognize.
We did that for a week.
Hey, Bart. That's in case of glass. In case of emergency, break glass. You know what I mean? You go with
list radio.
That's radio 101, right? It's one of those things, especially after The Last Dance. The next national transition. Well, okay, could this Jordan team? Could they have won 7? Could they beat the Golden State of old and all that stuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah, Bart, I am so glad we did not do that, because you are so right. You are so right on that front.
Bart, I will say this: if it wasn't for Tiger King, and if it wasn't for the Jordan thing, the summer would have just been a pointless exercise in looking at numbers. Bart Scott joining us here on the Blitz. You catch him every day from 11 to 1, new on our air. We're awfully excited to have you on, and the perspective you bring. And I'm glad you brought up your coming out of Detroit. What did Detroit mean to you coming out? Because there's a lot of people I know, but everybody I know from Detroit tells me the first thing that they're from Detroit. Why is that?
Because there's a sense of pride. I think people forget that it was, maybe down right now, but it was once a great, great city. You talk about Motown, you talk about the Motor City. We call it the D. I know Dallas like to claim and think that they're big and bad, but Detroit was really, really a very vibrant place, and it's getting back to that. It's the big three coming there. It's like what's the biggest GDP. Thinking about industry. You talk about the great migration, industrial revolution, everybody moving up and starting to produce cars and getting people around. So you take pride in that. And come on, man, we all love the sound of Motown, whether you're in your 40s or your 30s. We all heard Mama or somebody playing some Motown, playing some Temptations, some Stevie Wonders.
There's a lot of us that are here just because of a Motown song, man.
Exactly. Exactly. You listen to some of the lyrics too. You like, hold up, man. Don't be talking about my mama like that. Barry White was a very, very freaky man.
Yeah.
Barry White reminded me of one of those dudes that ride around in a conversion van and asking some of the young girls they want candy.
Oh, with a towel on his shoulder and a little sweaty when he leans out the window. He is Bart Scott joining us here on the Blitz, talking about football and all things life. As he's new on our air here, but certainly it's been a pleasure to catch up with Bart as he's grown here on the San Antonio Airways. Let's talk about your career and what you bring into the radio and what you see coming up this week. First of all, getting to know you on air, I think down here my perspective of you was as a Raven, but your perspective in New York is as a Jet. When you're asked, what team do you claim? What color do you wear?
Well, you only can be young, stupid, and rich once, right? And everything that the Jets got is because Baltimore raised me. Growing up in that great organization taught me how to be a professional, taught me how to hold myself and my teammates accountable. It's one of those places, one of those special organizations. When you think about the historic ones, you think about the Ravens. Even though it's an expansion team, you look at them the same way as you look at the Giants. You look at them the same way as you look at the Steelers and in the San Francisco 49ers, even though those are some of the core, original. You think about Green Bay, you think about Chicago, you have to start really giving a lot of respect about how the Ravens go about their business. And it's because they had great leadership, they had great ownership. Ozzie Newsome, great player, one of even a better general manager and executive. And you think about Steve Bisciotti and Art Modell and what he's mean to this league, and the whole thing from Cleveland and all the great people that spawned off that, Bill Belichick, Ozzie Newsome, Nick Saban, all those people that were together before the old Mayflower in the middle of the night. And, they really taught me a lot. So I like to tell people that, being a Raven is like, that was my first girlfriend. And, I learned a lot from her, but I didn't appreciate her. Then I left and I got married, and my wife got all the benefits from what, my first girlfriend taught me.
Well put. Bart Scott here on ESPN San Antonio. Now, listening to you from 11 to 1, you seem to think Deshaun Watson would look really, really good in that Jets uniform. Do you think ultimately Deshaun will end up in New York?
I don't know, because I think right now, first of all, the Texans are tripping, right? We talk about they think that they're going to get 2 or 3 first-round draft picks, 2 second-round draft picks, and 2 defensive stars. Listen, you can't get it all back for what Bill O'Brien did. He ran your organization into the ground, and he left you hanging. And there's nothing you can do about it, because now you got rid of the best receiver in the game. Now you're going to lose the best quarterback or top 5 quarterback in the game just because of negligence, just because you don't know how to manage people, right? You just can't assume that you give somebody some money, you can talk or do whatever you want. The fact that they didn't give him inclusion and let him be part of the process, and then they said that they would, that they didn't tell him when they were getting rid of his number 1 receiver, that's a lack of respect. And, back in the old days, when Bob Lanier was the owner, that's how the business was run. Players play, coaches coach, owners own. But the league and the game has changed, as now is, you have to empower some of your stars, because they're the CEO of your organization. They're the ones that speak on your behalf. They're the ones, and the perception of your organization a lot of times is based on the class or the lack thereof of your quarterback, because that's what they hear speak all the time. That's why he's the most important person, and they feel like they've alienated, or I feel like they've alienated him, and there's no way going back. And they can say whatever they want, and they can ask. Everybody knows you have to trade him. So why would I give up everything and bet against myself when I have the number 2 overall pick? Or if I'm Miami, I have the number 3 overall pick. That's 3 first-round draft picks within itself. Because when you look at teams like Buffalo that moved up a couple of years ago to get Sammy Watkins, what did they give up? 2, 3, eventually number ones, right? What did they give up for RG3? 2 number 1s to move up. If I'm sitting at number 2, I'm telling Houston that is 2 first-round draft picks within itself, because you can pick a new quarterback if you want. Hell, if you want Sam Darnold, we'll throw him in too. But we're not going to let you hijack our future so that you can enjoy your past and build your future, because you guys couldn't manage to keep your stars happy. Because we've seen James Harden. You can say whatever you want. When Deshaun Watson shows up to work in a fat suit and say, "Hey, I'm not coming to practice," what are you going to do?
Well, all right. And what we just heard is what the other end of the phone conversation is when Nick Caserio or Jack Easterby, whoever is on the phone. Because I got to admit, Bart, my conversation starts at 3 1s and 3 2s over 5 years. I want to be greedy, but I don't factor in what's on the other side of the phone and trying to make that deal done. I think you just laid out what the Jets might counter with, which I thought was fantastic.
Yeah, because I'll give you 2. Listen, Jamal Adams is a gift that keeps on giving. If I can flip Jamal Adams into Deshaun Watson, then you can say, hey, the Jets won that trade. But if I give you number 2, which allows you to get a franchise quarterback that you feel like is one in the draft, if not, you can move back and get and trade down and get 2 number 1s from somebody else. I'll give you Jamal Adams' pick next year. Because when you think about not Sam Bradford, you think about Matthew Stafford, you think about the Jared Goff trade, what did they give up? They gave up 2 number 1s. But they're like in the 20s. Like those guys are looking, when teams are in the 20s and 25s and 28, they're moving down to go to the second round. So basically, you gave me 2 meaningless picks because they're basically, the bottom of the pack type of pick. So if I'm giving you number 2, you can do whatever you want with it. You can turn them into pick 12, pick 15. A couple of years ago, the Jets moved from 6th to 3rd. Moved up 3 spots and gave up 3 number 2 picks. all that were really, really high because the Jets were bad, and it was a high pick anyway. So if I'm giving you number 2, and if I'm giving you next year's Seattle pick, and I'm giving you maybe Sam Darnold, then that's where we at. That's where we at.
He is
I'm
Bart
not gonna
Scott.
bid against myself, because who else can give you that?
Right. Now, if for a chance, it looks like it's pretty possible this falls through, what happens to that number 2 pick? You see Douglas using it, or is it going to move down and grab a few more?
For me, I think, you talk about Joe Douglas, a former offensive lineman. I think if I can get Sewell at number 2, I put that pick in early and I rest easy knowing that I can get maybe ETN at 23 because they have 2 first-round draft picks. So now you think about Saleh. I'm bragging Kyle Juszczyk over from San Francisco to put in that physical running game so that I can have play action for a guy like Sam Darnold, but also I'm making sure that my borders, my edges are protected, because now you have Mekhi Becton, who's one of the best left tackles in the game, and then you add a number 1 left tackle, you move from the right tackle. Now you've given Sam protection, and now he can feel emboldened within that pocket. The Jets have over $70 million in draft capital, in salary cap space, in a market that's going to be cheapened because not a lot of teams have cash, and because they don't have the cash, they're not going to protect certain players. Joe Douglas still has a relationship with a guy like Zach Ertz, who we know is going to be moving on. So if you can turn, Sam Darnold, you can turn that pick into ETN, who's a great running back. Turn that also into, because remember, if they have pick 2, they have pick 34 as well. Some of the best receivers in the game has come in the second round. So the Jets are poised to be able to make a big jump and be like Miami, be a team that was the laughing stock, and be able to elevate and be a team that's in the playoff conversation next year with a strong offseason. Kenny Galladay's out there too.
Yes, sir. Bart Scott joining us here on ESPN San Antonio, pulling double duty today. Catch him 11-1 on the Bart and Hahn Show. Looking toward the Super Bowl as a former linebacker, if you're Tampa Bay, how excited are you about the lack of tackles? And tell us about Brady, man, and getting ready for somebody like him in an environment like this.
Well, I'm licking my chops, and listen, I would say that this is the most weapons that Brady has ever had in his career. What a luxury to have those type of weapons, are rare weapons, guys that are great in different ways, right? Whether it's Gronk being able to be that tackle and being able to go out. And listen, Gronk with that screen pass the other day, that's all he was there for. He was there to make those impactful plays. Not about how many catches you get. It's when you catch them and the impact of them. And then you have a guy like Cameron Brate. They can decide to go 2 tight ends and run the ball before net and pound Kansas City. Kansas City defense is the weakest unit in this game. They've been protected and they've been hitting, but I think they get exposed this time. I think Brady has a lot of muscle memory about what he learned about, playing Kansas City the first time around. And JPP in this defense is really starting to really catch their stride. And, you worry about the secondary, but you don't worry about JPP and Barrett on the outside, maybe being able to get to Mahomes. The fact that they got Vita Vea back. They got McClendon. They got Golston in the inside. Your third time's a charm. But what I'm really excited about is not because I played the position, is the fact that I believe that Levante David and Devin White can really maybe bracket and put 2-on-1 on top of Travis Kelce, which allows those safeties to stay back, to stay over the top, to allow those corners to challenge Tyreek Hill and Harmon and Sammy Watkins at the line of scrimmage, knowing that they got help behind them, and they can bracket those guys. Because if you look at those guys in coverage, they remind me of Kuechly and they remind me of Thomas Davis. They remind me of Patrick Willis. Their ability to still not be a liability in pass coverage. You saw what they did to Jared Cook when they went against the Saints, being able to be in the hip pocket, knowing that they have help. If they can bracket Kelce and limit his opportunities and still not have to invest too many resources and stay over the top, they have a really legitimate chance to really give Tom Brady some extra opportunity.
Sounds great. Bart Scott, man, it's a pleasure getting to know you. The newest part of ESPN San Antonio's family, Bart and Hahn, right here 11-1. Bart, man, pleasure meeting you. Stay safe. We look forward to meeting you face-to-face soon.
Likewise. Pleasure is all mine. Thank you.
Bart Hahn, right here.
Or Scott.
Bart and Hahn. He's been Americanized. He's been Americanated. It's Wednesday, man. Hey, we got a lot to do. Mike Golic is going to join us here in about 15 minutes. It's National Signing Day. How's your alma mater doing? I'm pretty happy about my day. How are y'all? Let's look at where the signees have gone as the letters of intent are coming to fulfillment. National Signing Day next, quickly followed by Mike Golic Sr. as we look toward the big game on Sunday. Your Deeds Tractor big game coverage continues next right here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. Whether it's you, a friend, a family member, you get arrested, somebody you know gets arrested, you want to get out of jail fast because you do. You know, the best way to do that is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go to the website, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail. A lot of reasons for that. And you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option, AA Best Bail Bonds. First, nobody is going to beat their price. They have payment plans available, a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 to get you out fast. Offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. So if you're up in Dallas and Corpus and the Valley, anywhere in between, AA Best Bail Bonds, license number 149. The phone number, 210-225-2121, 225-2121, or online, mybestbailbonds.com.
Deeds Tractors presents ESPN San Antonio's big game coverage. Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Your home for the big game in Tampa. All this week is the Blitz from 4 to 7.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Where will you be on the biggest NFL Sunday? Get to Twin Peaks for the best seats, made from scratch food, and 29-degree beer. It's a football fan's paradise. No one wants to sit in the nosebleeds, especially on the biggest Sunday of the season. Who you got? The Bucs or the Chiefs? Make the call and join us for the game.
Without more licensed workers, Gary's roofing business might hit its ceiling.
Hey, that new contract just got pushed up. We are going to need all hands on deck to make this happen.
Hey, Gary, you booked me on that other job next week.
It's time to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. The moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Indeed delivers 2.5 times more hires than the other branded job sites combined, according to Breezy HR 2019. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first job post. Terms and conditions apply.
We have finally turned the calendar into a new year, but if you still are rolling on those old brakes, you need to get them fixed. Jason Minnick's here for New Brakes, nubrakes.com. New Brakes is a mobile brake shop. That means they will come to you to fix your brakes. New Brakes is made getting your brakes repaired easy, convenient, and affordable because they will come to you. They'll come to your home, they'll come to your office, and fix your brakes while you continue to live your life. Most repairs are done in less than an hour. New Brakes only uses premium brake parts, and they back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. Go read all the 5-star reviews at nubrakes.com. If you know your brakes are bad or you think they're going bad, do us all a favor and get them fixed. Schedule your appointment now at nubrakes.com, nubrakes.com. Save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN San Antonio. Go to nubrakes.com right now, nubrakes.com.
It's the 55th Annual Football Championship, and you can follow all the action at betonline.net. Tampa Bay meets Kansas City on Sunday, and all eyes from around the world will be focused on what is expected to be a classic. Being billed as the perfect matchup of all time, it's the GOAT against his successor. In 4 previous meetings, each QB has won twice. Check out all the action this week at betonline.net as a true clash of the Titans is on tap. Always available online or your mobile device. Visit betonline.net today. Bring the game home at betonline.net.
Fact: filing your taxes with TaxAct can feel like a cash explosion. That's because TaxAct helps you get your maximum refund guaranteed. And TaxAct costs 30% less than the big guys, which means more of this. So if you want a cash explosion of your own, switch to TaxAct. File for less and get more. Start for free at TaxAct.com. 30% less claim based on comparison of TurboTax and H&R Block federal pricing for deluxe and premier consumer online products on December 4th, 2020. Restrictions apply. See TaxAct.com for complete details.
I like a bed that's really firm.
I need something a little softer than that.
Rest easy. With the Sleep Number 360 smart bed, you can both adjust your comfort with your Sleep Number setting.
Can it really help me fall asleep faster?
Yes, by gently warming your feet.
Okay, but can it help keep us asleep?
It senses your movements and automatically adjusts to keep you effortlessly comfortable. Sleep Number, proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. And now, during the Ultimate Sleep Number event, save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed, plus special financing on all smart beds, only for a limited time. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Teach Tractors presents ESPN San Antonio's Big Game coverage. Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds.
I want to remind everybody, head over to ESPNSA.com. New Breaks Cash for Couples is in play. Get yourself signed up. We got all kinds of great things happening at ESPNSA.com. That's just one of many reasons to continue to listen to ESPN SA all day, every day. National Letter of Intent Day is today. We're all getting the commitments. The usual suspects are at the very top, though. Aggie fans got to be kind of happy today. I'm feeling pretty good about what appears to be the number 6 class in for 2021, according to ESPN. So a couple of good gets. This is on the heels of a great signing by University of Texas yesterday. Get the number 1 running back in the state and the country out of Klein, a young man with the last name of Blue, I recall. So signing date is in place. This is what, the third of several. But it's interesting to watch right now, Jason, because of the holdover from the seniors from last year. I mean, there was a bit of a bottleneck here, and I think a lot of these guys were waiting to see who was going to stay.
Well, and I'll tell you what, while A&M, and I've seen them as high as number 4, A&M had a great signing. Sark, all right, I'll give him some love. Jeff Traylor over at UTSA.
Yes, sir.
Jeff Traylor at UTSA, killing it, especially in San Antonio. Caleb Lewis out of Still, DeAnthony Lewis and Robert Rigsby out of Judson, Dre Spriggs out of Harlan, who was incredible the other day in that San Antonio Sports All-Star football game, and an honorary scholarship to Bryce Wisdom, who would have been a part of this signing class. He's in there as well. Not to mention what Jeff Traylor was able to pull from around the state. UTSA had a hell of a signing day today.
Mike Golic, it's strange to say, but I feel like I need to. Senior will be joining us next. Let's talk with an old friend. Mike coming up next here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
You know, injuries do happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG Orthopedics has got you covered. Now, not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries. He also does concussion baseline testing. You know, there is no reason to be in pain. Telemedicine services are available through Ortho Connect. So if you're hurting, go visit the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Start online, TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
Scenic Views, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Every Friday on the Blitz, tune in as we get you ready for the sports weekend. What's on? Big games, intriguing matchups, how to watch them, and more. Scenic Views by Twin Peaks, every Friday on the Blitz.
America's Diamond offers our 5-year, 60-month financing program every day of the year. You don't have to wait for a sale to get 5-year financing with credit approval, or wait for a sale to get our guaranteed America's Diamond price, because we treat everyone fairly and with respect every day of the year. For almost 40 years, we have designed and created our extraordinary diamond jewelry right here in San Antonio. When you buy at America's Diamond, your money stays in San Antonio. Our whole company is located here and locally owned. Our kids and grandkids go to school here. All 40 of our coworkers live and shop in San Antonio for everything. Through the years, America's Diamond has supported thousands of wonderful charity events in San Antonio. We're the official jeweler of the San Antonio Spurs and of the University of Texas at San Antonio Athletics. See our television program about diamonds and jewelry tonight on ABC KSAT 12 at 12:35 a.m. or see it right now at americasdiamond.com.
Northeast Independent School District is now hiring and training school bus drivers. Whether you're looking for a new job, you're a retiree, or you're retired military, come help drive students to succeed and apply at Northeast ISD Transportation today. No experience is necessary, and you will get paid while earning your CDL and learning how to drive a school bus.
The Northeast ISD Transportation Department is ranked as one of the top 100 school bus fleets in America,
And our drivers receive exceptional pay and benefits, including health, dental, vision, and retirement.
If you're looking for work, if you're retired from the military, or you simply want to make a difference in our community, apply now with the Northeast ISD Transportation Department.
Join our team and discover Northeast ISD by calling 210-356-9229. That's 210-356-9229. Or you can text Drive Bus to 797979. That's text Drive Bus to 797979.
Dietz Tractors presents ESPN San Antonio's Big Game coverage. Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Small Bag Pork Rinds.
Yes, sir. You're on ESPN San Antonio. Your Dietz Tractor Big Game coverage continues. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. It's an annual event. We're just doing it separated this year. I'd like to welcome on the show Mike Golic. And it's strange for me, Mike, I hate to have to say it, but I'm a man of your age too. Senior joining us. So we want to make sure we differentiate the two. Hey, Mike, welcome aboard, man. Good to have you.
Yeah, it's been weird having to start to say that and try and differentiate between me and my son. It's like, wait a minute, that's mine. I just realized I made a huge mistake 31 years ago. I never should have named him Mike.
Well, I mean, it's there. The hard part for me was just typing into the Twitter and just going at Golic. You know, there are a lot of changes in your life. How are you adjusting, my friend?
I've been, adjusting fine. Listen, it was something I didn't want to happen, but what are you going to do? You don't always get things you want. So the one plus is the first time in 25 years I've been sleeping until like 7:30. That's what a joy that is. I feel somewhat normal. So that's been really nice. It's been nice to kind of take a breath and do some other stuff. And I'll jump back into it in another, probably a couple of months and get back in. I'm too young to retire, but it's been a nice little chance to step back for a little bit.
Mike Golic joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. That's it's going to stay. The junior can tag on. Mike, I share the same name with my father as well, and I'm actually proud of it. That was a good move, I think. When we talk about the retirement stuff, do you get tired of this? Where people are like, hey, are you doing all right? I mean, you just got a career in radio. I mean, it's not like you passed on someplace over there.
And I appreciate people, asking and stuff. That's nice of them to do. They certainly don't have to. But, I was doing the show for 22, 23 years, and doing stuff, calling games and doing studio work even before that. So yeah, like I said, I guess when it's not your choice, people feel like, oh, you okay? Because, you got dumped, is it everything all right? Yeah. Listen, when I got cut from 2 NFL teams, I wasn't happy about that either. But like those situations, I couldn't do a damn thing about it. You move on. I went to another team. So that's what I'll do here. I equate everything to football, and at some point I'll go on to another team. That's what we do.
That is what you do. Although I think with everybody that grew up listening to you for the last 20 years, it just screwed with our morning routines. And so while we're concerned about you selfishly, our daily routine has been messed up, and that's what we're really unhappy about.
That's interesting. I've been doing a few interviews this week on some morning shows, and they're like, it's weird to have you on. Usually you've been competition to us. Now we get to have you on. So yeah, it's been kind of a different thing, but yeah, I do apologize if I screwed up anybody's morning routine because I know how important that can be.
Mike Golic joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. So you're making the rounds and following football for sure, and doing some college football, doing some play-by-play and color stuff. You're a natural at that, man. Is that something you enjoy? Because it's certainly something we enjoy watching.
Oh, yeah. And no matter what I do going forward, whether I jump back into radio and studio and streaming and podcasts and all the stuff that goes on today, one thing I know I'll be doing is I'll be calling games. That's it. Listen, it's the first thing I did at ESPN. When I retired in 94 and 95, I started calling college games for ESPN and ABC. And I did that and then added all the other stuff along with it. I called games until 2005. That's when Mike Jr., my oldest, got to high school, and I told ESPN, I don't want to work weekends anymore. I want to watch Mike and Jake and Sydney do all their sports. I don't want to miss anything on the weekend. So I stopped doing it in 2005 and then picked it up again this year. And, I found out it was kind of like riding a bike. I love it just as much. I just, I got to actually go, to San Antonio. That was the first one. That's the first place I traveled all year. I was doing it from ESPN. And then I called the Alamo Bowl. I got to be, at the Alamo Dome, so that was nice. And then I went to Phoenix for the Fiesta Bowl. So I love calling games, and that's something that'll definitely be in my future. I just love the atmosphere.
It is a lot of fun, and I got to say, it was great to see you at the Valero Alamo Bowl. I do want to apologize. The barbecue that we helped you find at halftime isn't really representative of what you always find in San Antonio. I know that'd been sitting in that warmer for hours and hours and hours, so don't think that's what Texas barbecue really is.
Listen, I had been to San Antonio 3 times before that. Both Mike and then Jake in back-to-back years played in the Army All-American game. And then one year when Notre Dame does kind of that barnstorming when they play on the road, I believe they played Washington State at that stadium there. So I've been there a few times. I know the food there. I love the food there. I love the area there. So no worries. That was even that barbecue heated up in the warmer like that is better than like any like Connecticut barbecue. So we're okay.
Mike Golic joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. All right, let's talk about the game, Mike. As we get closer and closer, the differences seem to be getting made bigger and bigger deals. But at the end of the day, these are 2 great quarterbacks with 2 coaches with schemes that have been effective. The classic rock and a hard place. The only thing that people are looking at now, I think, is that offensive line for the Chiefs and the injuries they're dealing with. At the end of the day, can Reed scheme his way through this, or is Tampa Bay smelling blood in the water going to get after Mahomes?
Well, listen, Andy Reid is a hell of a coach, so he's going to have something up his sleeve. I mean, they are the kings of movement one way and going another way. I mean, you have to be so eye-disciplined on defense. Just watch the amount of motion that they have, counter motion that they have to try and make the defense flow out of what they're supposed to do. That's as a defense. So one thing I guarantee you Tampa Bay is concentrating on is eye discipline and take care of your responsibility. Don't leave your house to go help somebody else's house. Take care of your house and make sure nothing comes back your way before you start to pursue. Andy's the king of that. But you're right on the O-line. Understand what happened. Losing Eric Fisher, that created a 3-personnel switch. You went Remmers from right tackle to left tackle, Wiley from right guard to right tackle, and Wisniewski comes in off the bench to play right guard. So while all these guys have gotten plenty of snaps in their careers, they're at different positions here. And you saw what Pierre-Paul and Shaq Barrett did on the outside to the outside tackles, one backup in Green Bay and the other right tackle. They did a great job. Now you have Mahomes, who can certainly escape, and they'll try and slow those guys down with chips and misdirection. But that is something to keep an eye on. We know we're going to get good quarterback play. Obviously, could be great quarterback play, as we know. So to me, I love looking at the other matchups all over the field to see who's going to step up.
And when you look at the matchups, but besides quarterback, what's an area that you say this could be the difference in the game, this position group right here, or this one-on-one battle?
Oh, man. I mean, like I said, right now, Remmers and Wiley on the outside, can they handle Shaq Barrett and Pierre-Paul one-on-one, or are they going to need help? Remember, if you need help by a tight end or a back, that delays those guys coming out of the backfield to rush or to go out on a pass, so they may not at all. Who's going to cover Kelsey? You're putting a linebacker? I mean, listen, the linebackers, Levante David and Devin White. Devin White is a punisher, but those guys, they're not covering Kelsey. You bring in, Antoine Winfield, the kid who missed the last game, the youngster, back in this game. Is he covering Kelsey? Who's the matchup on Kelsey? So when you're seeing Kelsey go out for a pass, don't just watch the ball. Watch where the guys are going. Who's picking them up? Is it man coverage? Are they doubling? Is there someone underneath and someone over the top? Those are the fun things to look at. And then you look at, that Kansas City D-line. Of these 2 quarterbacks, you got one quarterback from year 1 to year 21. You know where he's going to be. 5-step, 7-step. He ain't running, and he's rarely getting out of the pocket. And Tampa Bay has a youngster in Aaron Stinney at right guard who's had a few snaps and stepped in and he's done well. He's had a few starts now. Chris Jones, the D tackle from KC, is going to find his way over to him. And can they get him in a one-on-one position, or is Jensen going to have to help over there? Because that's what I look for is Chris Jones pushing that pocket, getting in Brady's face, where Brady, he'll hit the deck and fight another play. He'll throw it in the dirt and fight another play. Or we saw last game when he got some pressure in his face, he hoisted one up that got picked off.
Right.
So those are some of the matchups I look for in this.
Mike Golic right here on ESPN San Antonio. Have you bought your squares yet? Are you ready to play it? And before we get there, what are you doing for Super Bowl? What are you gonna? Are you gathering with family? Going to be cooking?
I know there's.
No, I'm actually going to be part of the squares thing. I'm going to go down to Tampa on Saturday. I'll get there, and so quickly tell you about the squares thing. It's something where people play the paper squares every Super Bowl. You pick your numbers and you get them for each quarter, and if they're bad numbers, you're pretty much screwed the whole game. Well, this is an app. This is went from paper to we're in the modern technology of an app. It's the Super Squares app. You can get it at supersquares.com or download the Super Squares app. And basically, it's for free. Know that it's for free. And we're going to try and set a world record of the amount of people that are playing Squares game on Super Bowl Sunday. And it's different than just picking numbers. You're going to make 3 actual predictions about the game that you can get points for. You're going to answer 2 questions about advertisements as you're picking those things for the game. You get points for those. And then when you pick your Super Square, it actually splits into 4 different number combinations for each quarter, so you don't get stuck with bad numbers. So you kind of get to be interactive during the game. You can check on it and see how your predictions are going and where you fall in the percentile and the points you're getting for it. And they do all the math for you. There is no math. So that's a
Perfect.
good thing. And then if you like to do, the group thing with the Squares game, where you can still do it here, it's called the Skybox. You can get your own Skybox and you can still have 20 of your friends, 100 of your friends, and you can just play against one another. And your score will still count in the national score as well. And there's $2.4 million in cash and prizes. Somebody's going to win an $80,000 Rivian electric SUV. So, there's great prizes. It's a lot of fun. It's interactive. It's something to do. It's like the modern version of Squares. It's just a fun thing to do. So I'll be down there, and I'm going to be on Twitch TV. We're going to be doing the Super Squares Twitch. We're going to be talking about the game. The game will be on. We'll be talking about it. So if you want to have a couple of screens going, you can have me on one of your screens.
Absolutely, because we miss having you on screens and on our speakers on the radio. Supersquares.com is the website. All right, Mike, it's 5:41 here in San Antonio, Central Time Zone. You've been off the air for a couple of weeks now. Is there one story out there that if you were on the air, you would just be blowing it up? What's the one thing that you wish you had, that outlet that the microphone gives you, that you want out there that you haven't had an opportunity to really get that opinion out?
Boy, that's a great question, because all through like the football season, every now and then I would drive my wife nuts because I'd be going, oh my God, I wish I had a show now. I would say probably I would go back to the Pac-12 and the Big Ten deciding not to play, and then coming back to play, and then the Big Ten saying, okay, but we're going to have more stringent rules than everybody else. And then Ohio State was in danger of not playing enough games, so they changed the rules so Ohio State could get in. And listen, I don't blame them for doing it. They were dumb in the first place for making all the stringent rules and making it too hard for their own teams to get in. I think that turned out to be a pretty big story. There have been plenty, along the way, but that one was kind of going on for a while. And that was one of the stories I was kind of busting around going, man, I wish I had an outlet, to do this. I know the one today is some of the one chief, the backup center, was in the barber chair, and the barber was cutting his hair when he found out he had COVID.
Yeah.
And they had to yank him out of there. Oh my God. Could you imagine if a team barber cost you one of your top players in this? God, that's unbelievable.
Catastrophic event nearly averted by an early COVID test, man. Mike Golic, it is a pleasure catching up with a guy we feel like we spent a lot of time with over the last 20 years every morning. It's a pleasure catching up, man. Stay safe. Look forward to seeing you on Twitch down there in Tampa.
All right, guys. I appreciate it. I look forward to talking to you again.
Supersquares.com is where you need to go. The game can be had. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff. I am downloading it as we speak. Coming back, Boy, we had us a fine basketball game last night. We'll catch you up with the recruiting race on that other sport that Texas does pretty well in the football side of things. Hold on tight. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. I'll tell you what, the big game is just around the corner, and there's no better place to go celebrate it than right around the corner at your local Twin Peaks. They are equipped for a game day atmosphere, the likes of which you all deserve. You head into Twin Peaks, you know what to expect. Certainly great food coming out of the kitchen, scratch food at its finest. But on the biggest game of the day and the biggest day of the year on February the 7th, you're going to be watching the big game being served the very finest 29-degree draft beers, the best views of the game, scratch food to feed the whole team. Twin Peaks got 3 great locations. Get over there for the big game. They'll take care of everything you possibly need. Twin Peaks, the eats are great. The drinks, they're 29 degrees or colder, but why do you go? It's those scenic views.
The ESPN San Antonio 10K Payday. This hour's winning word is
tulip.
Enter that word now at ESPNSA.com. Another reason it pays to listen to ESPN San Antonio all day, every day.
Great cash, homie.
Take your romance game to a whole new level this Valentine's with Diamonds Direct's most popular offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase happening right now. You know jewelry is the perfect gift to celebrate your love. And with this incredible offer, you can afford to go big. Like a $6,000 diamond tennis bracelet, just $100 a month. Or a $3,000 pair of diamond earrings, just $50 a month. Diamonds Direct has teamed up with the world's top jewelry designers for an expanded selection of Valentine's surprises for any budget. Romantic gifts starting as low as $400. Rings, earrings, pendants, bands, colored gemstones. The guaranteed largest selection, highest quality, and always the best value. Whether you shop in store or online at DiamondsDirect.com. Make this the most memorable Valentine's ever with 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase, including engagement rings. Now through Valentine's Day. Celebrate your love at Diamonds Direct.
At the shops at La Cantera.
Every player matters, and finding the right person can make all the difference.
In 1999, the Indianapolis Colts traded Marshall Faulk to the St. Louis Rams for a 2nd and 5th round pick. The move helped transform the Rams offense into one of the most dynamic in the history of the NFL. They became known as the greatest show on turf. Faulk won the NFL MVP in 2000, and the Rams went on to reach 2 Super Bowls, winning Super Bowl 34.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
When scouting talent, teams use all the tools at their disposal to determine the best fit for their rosters. LinkedIn Jobs works that way for your business. Post a job with targeted screening questions, and LinkedIn will quickly get your role in front of qualified candidates. Manage job posts and contact candidates from a single view as functions are streamlined onto one simple screen. And now you can post a job for free at linkedin.com/sports. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're a bacon lover, I've got great news for you. This is Michael Kielbasa with Kielbasa Smoked Meats. Our authentic dry-cured bacon is now available at grocery stores near you. We make it the old-fashioned way with the finest pork bellies in our legendary spice blend. We don't pump it full of water or chemicals like other brands. All you get is thick, savory slices of delicious bacon. I hope you'll give it a try, and if it's not the best bacon you've ever eaten, I'll give you your money back. Kielbasa Smoked Meats, slow-crafted in Texas since 1949.
Does it feel like finding clothes in your fit is impossible? Tired of feeling overwhelmed with options that just aren't right? Let the experts at Stitch Fix do the shopping for you. At Stitch Fix, we make sure each piece is hand-selected for your life. So whether you're staying home or on the go, Stitch Fix has the answer for what to wear. We make it easy to find what works for you. Signing up takes just a few minutes, and styles are delivered directly to your door. Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix, your style delivered.
Buying some pretzel sticks?
Excuse me?
This is your wake-up call from TracFone Wireless.
Okay.
What if you didn't eat all those pretzel sticks by the end of the month, so this store took them back?
Good luck.
That's how some wireless companies are with your data, but TracFone Wireless gives you unlimited carryover data with active service, so you keep what you pay for. Plans start at $20 a month.
Wow, that's cool.
Sir, are you bothering the customers?
Yeah, hang on. This is your wake-up call, people. TracFone Wireless. Now you're in control. Available at major retailers. See terms and conditions at TracFone.com.
With no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, banking with Capital One is like the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like Taylor Swift choosing what to wear.
It's looking kind of chilly out today.
I think I'll go with a cardigan.
Yep, even easier than that. And with our top-rated app, you can bank anytime, anywhere, making Capital One an even easier decision. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
New consumer accounts only. Approval required. Terms apply. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it. So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense and tune in to Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Dietz Tractors presents ESPN San Antonio's big game coverage. Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, on the go at ESPNSA.com. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. If you've missed any of this rockin' show today, you can go to the audio vault there at ESPNSA.com, always brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. If you go there now, you will find things like Jeff Fisher, former NFL head football coach of the Titans and the Rams, Bart Scott, former All-Pro and now on the Nationals 11-1 right here on the Bart and Hahn Show. Mike Golic just passed through as well. Mark Singleton is coming. A gentleman named Steve Cannon will join us at 6:15. He is the president of the Atlanta Falcons, the group that's over not only the Falcons, but Mercedes-Benz Stadium and all the things that billionaire Arthur Blank owns. Mr. Cannon was voted today or announced today to be the USAA's Salute to Service Award winner. A remarkably powerful man doing very wonderful things with the U.S. military. We're excited to have him on, the recipient of this year's award.
And then, of course, we got Spurs coming up tonight, so we'll have game night San Antonio at 6:30. And I got a bone to pick with you, Mr. Thompson.
Go ahead.
On the rundown here, we're going to talk about the basketball game that we saw last night, the Longhorns and the Baylor Bears. And for this wonderful segment, you went on and put a Baylor green shirt on? I mean, did you really just change clothes in the middle of this segment to go Baylor green here? Is that your version of horns down, my friend?
Dude, looking at the shirt that I am wearing in my residence, it's blue. I don't know what you guys are seeing.
Lies and blasphemy.
Everybody on Facebook
Rubbing
Live
it
or our
in.
YouTube channel knows that's a green. That is a Baylor Bear green-looking shirt with the Final Four logo on it.
Very
it makes
Aggie of you.
sense. It makes sense. I mean, because that's a team that looks like they are going to the Final Four this year, man. I mean, well played. I didn't know your wardrobe was in sync with our rundown.
I'm a bandwagon type. So as soon as you look good, I'm gonna get me a T-shirt.
Is that pullover Americanated?
It's an Americanated way to do it. I head over to the local Walmart, and I can be a fan of the winning team just tomorrow, man. Wait till you see me on Monday when I'm wearing the Super Bowl champs, and I've been a fan of them for years.
Absolutely.
That's very strange. My iPad kind of crapped out on me, and I switched over to the laptop, and evidently I've got some kind of filter built in that won't go blue. But speaking of last night's game, before we get too far gone, it was the strangest way for a game to close. Greg Brown is going to be a top 5 pick, a top 8 pick. This dude is a beast, and eyes on the rim, soul-snatching dunk in the second half did not lead to the run as expected, as he talked a little bit of noise and talked trash. Technicals were called. Baylor took advantage and just ran away with the game that had been, it had been Baylor's game to lose all game, but Texas had made a nice run, and it was lost due to a little bit of exuberance from a stud young man. I'm sure they regret it today and would like to play him again.
Well, I mean, look, I think Baylor showed how really dominant they are. I mean, as a Longhorn fan, I do want to see Baylor and Gonzaga in the Final Four in Indianapolis. I think that would be incredible. I think Baylor showed, while the Longhorns are very, very good this year, they're not up to Baylor's level. And I missed all right, so last night, I see the dunk, the comeback, and Texas is making it a game. I've got a steak on the grill. I go outside, check on the steak, and I come back in, and after Texas got the lead on the dunk, that was the last thing I saw. I come back in, I think they're down 9 or 11. What happened? And it was all downhill from there. I mean, they never got off the mat. It was like you got a good boxing match going, and then somebody just gets tagged in the nose, and for the rest of the fight, that was the TKO.
Villanova has had a nice season, and I think they're leading the best of the rest, along with Michigan and a couple of pretenders that are going to go up and down through the Big Ten as the season goes. But after last night, what we saw from Baylor against a very good Longhorn team that was back pretty much to full strength. A lot of guys have been out for COVID, and Shaka had been dealing with what he had said were significant symptoms. So we're glad to see him back, and they're going to go far. But what we saw from Baylor and what we've seen from Gonzaga, they are so far, those two teams are far ahead of everybody else. It's really those two and everything to follow. And if I have a feeling we might just see a battle of the champions because they're so far ahead of everybody else. A long way to go before the tournament. We'll keep you abreast of all of that. But yeah, last night was spectacular. Before we head out to break, it is National Signing Day. It's the usual suspects, Jason. It's not a big surprise to see Alabama up on the top.
Sure.
But let's talk about the local stuff. You hit it earlier, and I don't think it's going to be stressed enough that, Coach Traylor there at UTSA stressed from the moment he walked in the door, we are going to be of and about San Antonio. The 210, the pyramid, the what does he call them? The pyramid of pain,
the triangle of success in the
all
pillars.
Those work.
Yes.
He owned San Antonio. He owned this city. The pyramid of pain. Hey,
it's Americanated. It's all good.
Pyramid of pain. Somebody's going to take that. You're going to see that at another school before you know it. But how many times have we heard
Dan
this
Campbell's slogan?
It is a pyramid of pain.
Bite
Taking out kneecaps. But
both of them.
When we're talking about UTSA coaches, how many have come through the door and said we're going to own this city? And as soon as things got, a little bit hectic and a little bit tough, they bailed on San Antonio because they didn't want to be seen as being turned down by a local kid. And Traylor dove right into the pool and is now dominating a city and showing that the talent here in San Antonio, if given the opportunity, is good enough to compete on a national level. Look at Sincere McCormick.
Well, and again, I think Sincere, you look at Frank, this group, and Coach Wilson did a good job of trying to keep a lot of guys home. But I think it's twofold. They're recruiting local because local San Antonio players now want to be a part of the program there at UTSA. So it does go both ways. But, I mean, it's not just San Antonio. While he added 4 from San Antonio, when you start looking at, bringing in a big defensive lineman, I say big, 6'1", 310 out of Katy, out of Morton Ranch High School. Got a kid coming in from New Orleans, so you're able to go out of state as well. It's huge, and even with San Antonio, they got a big old stud out in the Braunfels Canyon as well. So, I mean, they and a lot of these names I just saw this past weekend in the All-Star game.
You want to fill a building. Let us go see people we know. I mean, it serves so many different purposes to get guys that are local and, certainly peppered in with the talent from abroad. But you circle that around the 210. I think that this area has long been overlooked as a consistent football factory. We do put out players, but they get overlooked and ended up in schools we never hear from. They stay at UTSA. They play a D1 schedule, and everybody knows about them here, and people want to come. That's Jeff Traylor right there. Good things coming. A great recruiting class. In the 6 o'clock, we're going to do some cooking. Mark Singleton's going to join us real quick. We got us a recipe for you. Big game around the corner. It is Pork Rind Appreciation Weekend, the big day on Sunday. We'll show you how to do it the right way. Steve Cannon will join us right after that as we salute a man who's done so much for our military, the USAA Salute to Service Award winner. Steve Cannon will join us then, and we'll talk in Spurs. Hang on tight. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN South. San Antonio, 94.5 FM and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Man, how can you afford gas for that big SUV?
I pay less for gas than everyone else. I got the free Get Upside Gas app and get up to 25 cents a gallon cash back every time I buy gas.
Hold on. You're getting up to 25 cents off a gallon with a free Get Upside Gas app while I'm paying full price?
You know it. People earned over $1 million last year. You just got to take a picture of your gas receipt and bam, up to 25 cents a gallon cash back.
You don't have to tell me twice. I'm downloading the free Get Upside Gas app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code LOVE for a 50-cent a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 75 cents a gallon on your next tank. Just download the free Get Upside app at the App Store or Google Play and use promo code LOVE. Save money on gas on every fill-up. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code LOVE. That's LOVE. Visit getupside.com for terms.
The biggest football game of the year is this Sunday. Where will you be watching? Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, now with 4 San Antonio area locations, has everything you need to enjoy this year's big game safely. Drink specials, giveaways, good eats, giveaways, sound on, and more giveaways at all 4 Slackers locations. Slackers Super Sunday is going on this weekend at all 4 locations. Visit slackersbarssa.com. Slackersbarssa.com. Or find Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar on Facebook for more info.
America's Diamond offers our 5-year, 60-month financing program every day of the year. You don't have to wait for a sale to get 5-year financing with credit approval, or wait for a sale to get our guaranteed America's Diamond price, because we treat everyone fairly and with respect every day of the year. For almost 40 years, we have designed and created our extraordinary diamond jewelry right here in San Antonio. When you buy at America's Diamond, your money stays in San Antonio. Our whole company is located here and locally owned. Our kids and grandkids go to school here. All 40 of our coworkers live and shop in San Antonio for everything. Through the years, America's Diamond has supported thousands of wonderful charity events in San Antonio. We're the official jeweler of the San Antonio Spurs and of the University of Texas at San Antonio Athletics. See our television program about diamonds and jewelry tonight on ABC KSAT 12 at 12:35 a.m. or see it right now at americasdiamond.com.
Wendy's new classic chicken sandwich is now in the 2 for $5, and that's reason to celebrate. Try the new classic and then take your mouth on a victory lap with the iconic Dave's Single, the delicious spicy chicken sandwich, spicy or crispy 10-piece nuggets, or just get another classic chicken sandwich. Taste greatness today with Wendy's 2 for $5. We got you.
For a limited time, a la carte only. Price and participation may vary. U.S. Wendy's.
Hindsight is 2020, and 2020 was a brutal year that for most of it felt out of control. But you know how you can be in control? You can be in control of your job, your career. Yes. In 2020, my computer career helped more people start IT careers than ever. Don't look back with 2020 hindsight next year and see yourself in that 2020 job. Take control. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
KZDC San Antonio.
This is Archie Manning, 1250 ESPN San Antonio.
And 94.5 FM, where the pros play. Dietz Tractors presents ESPN San Antonio's big game coverage. Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is the Blitz. Welcome on to 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. If you're on the go, try ESPNSA.com wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining us. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. It's a big day. It's a big week in the pork rind world. We got the big game coming up at Pork Rind Appreciation Day. You know, we've been doing this a long time. Mark Singleton of Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Over the last many months, we've been kind of building to the celebration that is Pork Rind Appreciation Day on Sunday, the day we gather around with like-minded folks and enjoy fine food and watch a football game in a keto-friendly kind of way.
Hey, guys. Yeah, as everybody knows, Sunday has another a mark of note, and that it's we got the governor to say so it's official. it is Pork Rind Appreciation Day.
It is, and go to porkrinds.com. All kinds of stuff you can win at porkrinds.com. Register there to win that stuff. I know we're going to have you back on the show tomorrow with Billy White Shoes Johnson. How cool is that? Talking about Pork Rind Appreciation Day and everything you guys do with Gridiron Greats. But, right now, let's do what we do every week, man. We're going to do a lot of eating on Sunday. And it's one of those where, you get some stuff, but then also got to have the grazing food because you got the pregame show that lasts about 27 hours. And then, of course, you got the game itself, which isn't quick. So you got to have food that you can graze with throughout the day.
Yeah, and you've got, I don't know about you guys, but with my friends on Instagram, my friends on all the social medias, I'm being bombarded with their plans for the weekend and things they're going to make to feed their family in the smaller way that we're all forcing to become accustomed to. And boy, we've got a great one tonight. It's just one of my oldest recipes. It's one of my favorites, and it's a favorite for kids too. As different ages are gathered together to watch a game, I think your kids are going to love this recipe.
Well, tell us what you got with some skinny chicken.
Well, what we're going to do tonight is skinny dipping chicken, Rob.
Skinny dipping chicken. Perfect.
Skinny dipping chicken. You've had regular chicken, and we've all had breaded chicken tenders, but all of them are breaded with a gluten type breading. It's got a carb load, and as we were looking around for ways to lessen the carbs in food, one of the ones that we really came up with, that once again is smart proof, because all you need is 1 bag of pork rinds, 3 eggs, a teaspoon of paprika, half teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of salt, and then just 2 chicken breasts cut up into bite-sized nuggets. It's just so few ingredients. It's so simple. And this is one you can fry in a deep fryer. You can bake in an oven if you want to keep the fat level down. Tonight, the recipe I made, we baked. And so you preheat your oven to 375. And let me tell you something else. As you make this, Rob, this is something you can make like 6 trays of and throw in 15 minutes apart and 15 minutes apart and serve all night long. You can have hot, great food coming out of the oven. It's real easy to make ahead. And I'll show you. All you have to do is whisk 3 eggs together, add your salt, add your paprika, add your onion powder, just mix it all up. And then it's, the old clean hand, dirty hand. You take the chicken and you drag it in the egg and you drop it in the pork rind that you've ground up either by, I use a Ninja because I'm lazy, but you can use your hand or a roller pin or however you get them crumbled. And we just dredge them in there like you dredge anything. Put them in the baking dish. James is going to throw up both the recipe and some pictures. And it's so easy. I just stuck them in the oven for literally 15 minutes. And man, you guys can see that. That is a beautiful bacony chicken nugget. I've got some blue cheese and I've got some stone ground mustard to go along with it. Gosh,
that was my question.
This is great food.
So the dipping sauce that you have in there, you could just do. Yeah, it's whatever you want. Skinny dipping chicken. You can go to porkrinds.com and check out all that. Southern Recipes small batch pork rinds is the pork rind you're going to use on there. And if you go to Southern Recipe, the website there, lots of other recipes for you, keto friendly and perfect for game day. Scroll through there. Not only are we talking about keto friendly, Mark, I'm consistently amazed by the texture that the small batch pork rind adds. It's one, because of the way it's prepared initially. It's going to come with that crunch, and it's never oily, and it transfers so easily to the chicken. And like you said, it's easy to do on a day like this when you're going to be making round after round. I think it'd be probably pretty applicable to anybody using an air fryer as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is so air fryer friendly. And Jason, yes, you can smoke them. I mean, honest to God, you can smoke it, Jason. So yeah, it's super air fryer friendly. Almost all of our breaded products. I make breaded asparagus. I make breaded okra. Just anything that you can bread with a panko, you can bread with a pork rind, and it gets rid of the carbs. You're going to be shocked at how great it is. and we usually use an egg binder. And tonight I use pineapple ancho because that's my wife's favorite flavor. The recipe online calls for salt and pepper, but man, be adventurous. You could use pasilla chili cheese. You could use spicy dill. You could do a different tray of each one. It works out to about a tray per bag. If you're trying to, say, okay, how much do I need to make 3 or 4 trays?
What's the oven setting if I'm baking? What is the oven setting? What do I put my oven at if I'm baking it again?
375 for 15 to 20 minutes. I start checking it at 15 minutes, and then I start, looking at it hard at 18, 19. It's according to your oven and how many times I've opened it to look at it, Tanya says.
375 to start. Yes, sir.
Well, and again, and you get those great Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB, and I'm looking at the recipe there and the photos you put up, because I've already planned the menu for Sunday. Since it's Tampa Bay, I'm going to do the shrimp that have the Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds with it, and the preparation looks very, very similar to that with the breading and the baking. And now we might get some chicken in there as well, because you're right, you're going to be eating all day long.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier, Rob, we smoke these skins, and so they have a very distinctive flavor. Right. We've been making them the same way since 1955. And so it really does give it a crunchy, but very different breading than most people have ever had. And the flavors on these small batch pork rinds really carry through true on the bite. So I think your listeners are just going to love them.
Head over to Southern Recipe
to see your recipes as you're making them this weekend. Reach out to us at porkrinds.com. Show us what you're making. We could always use some new great ideas.
Porkrinds.com. Southern Recipe Small Batch has a great list of a variety of different things you can do this weekend for the big game. Keto friendly, certainly, but flavorful and packed full of fun. Your pork rind and crackling recipes can be found right there. Low carb and big protein. Mark, as we come around with the big game, and certainly we're going to be sharing a lot of different finger foods, the pork rinds come into play in a lot of different ways. For those of us that are on this lifestyle, keep in mind you can use those instead of any kind of corn or potato chip to dip into anything. It adds any kind of great flavor. For those who watched last week, we put together a great dip as well. It's dipping season. It's pork rind season. Make sure you head over to HEB and pick up your Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. And you know what, Mark? We made you a new friend today. Bart Scott, he here at ESPN's SA 11 to 1 of the Bart and Hahn show, said he was a pork rind fan. We're sending him some Southern Recipe up there, some real pork rinds to indoctrinate a man who thinks he's had some good ones before, but really probably hadn't.
Well, tell him we can hook him up.
I'm sure we will. Mark, man, we're excited about it. So all this effort, all of what we've been doing for the last 6 months will culminate this weekend, Pork Rind Appreciation Day. We look forward to having you back tomorrow and interviewing the legend that is Billy White Shoes Johnson in the celebration that will follow. Hey, Mark, thanks for stopping by today, man.
Hey, you guys be good. Be great. See ya.
Mark Singleton, Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. I'll tell you what, this is the weekend to show off. This is when you prove your worth as a cook, and make sure Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds are part of it. Coming back, let's meet a true man of the people, an award winner, Steve Cannon, the president of the Atlanta Falcons, the CEO of the group over them in Mercedes-Benz Stadium there in Atlanta, was named by USAA today the Salute to Service Award winner, a man who's done a whole lot of work. You're going to want to meet him, a very interesting man and doing great things with the military. Steve will be here next on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
If you need your logo on gear, if you need masks done, you need to get into Sammy's Embroidery Club over there on San Pedro. In fact, if you're in charge of getting the uniforms made for your Little League softball team, baseball team, soccer team, those seasons are about to start. You need to get the uniforms done. Maybe it's beer league softball. Get into Sammy's Embroidery Club. Nobody does uniforms better than Sammy. And if you're used to getting your uniforms from a vendor overseas with all the shipping issues that they are going to run into, save yourself the headache and the hassle and shop local. Get into Sammy's Embroidery Club. you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, you need your logo on masks, on shirts, on jackets, on caps, on beanies, on your bags, whatever you need, Sammy's has it. 700 uniform lines to choose from. Nobody has better prices. Sammy has all the big name brands, and Sammy is still the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big. Check the website, samsembroidery.com, or better yet, get into that massive showroom he has there on San Pedro. It's a mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's. All items do come with a warranty, and you work with Sammy on your project. He's the owner, and he's by his phone right now, 210-824-3900. Call him, 210-824-3900 for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Love ESPN San Antonio? Watch the Blitz weekdays 4 to 7 and the Saturday Morning Hangover Saturdays 9 to 11 live at ESPNSA.com or on the ESPN San Antonio Facebook and YouTube pages. Search ESPN San Antonio and subscribe.
Before we rodeo San Antonio, mosey on over to Dietz Tractor. We're busting out of the chutes early with a stock full of LS tractors. And this is no 8-second ride. Take your time and choose from a field that includes compact and utility tractors at low prices. Excel in your field with LS Tractor, 6-time winner of the EDA Dealer's Choice Award. Backed by a limited 6-year warranty, LS Tractors will give you more standard features and more performance for less money. These are some of the hottest tractors around, and Dietz Tractor wants to sell them to you today at unbelievable prices. Dietz Tractor, where you get more tractor for less.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. A Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 6677 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 6677. Enjoy.
Fever is a leading symptom of the coronavirus, so take your temperature twice a day with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. It's quick and easy to use, and its accuracy is backed by more than 80 clinical studies. Have your family start and end their day with the only home thermometer used and recommended by hospitals, doctors, and nurses. Your family can take their temperatures in seconds to know where they stand in the fight against COVID-19. Protect your family from the spread of this deadly disease and stay safe with Exergen.
Napa know-how. Getting $20 back when you buy a Napa Legend premium battery is a win-win. Getting it from the best car people around is a win-win-win. Getting it before you're stranded somewhere, that's a win-win-win-win. Save $20 when you get a Napa Legend premium battery. And if that sounds like a lot of wins, you're right. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores and Napa Auto Care Centers. While supplies last. Offer ends 2/28/21.
Dietz Tractors presents ESPN San Antonio's Big Game coverage. Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. Our Dietz Tractor Big Game coverage continues. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. You know, San Antonio being Military City, USA, Jason, and being the home to USAA, the Salute to Service Award is something that means a whole lot to us, doesn't it, Jason? As the types that benefit from and have been a part of the military our entire lives, and USAA's understanding of that. The award winner traditionally means, represents us and somebody going out and doing much more than was required, sacrificing himself as the types with military themselves.
Absolutely. And the 10th annual Salute to Service Award winner presented by USAA, another connection to the Atlanta Falcons, which I'm not exactly sure of, but he's joining us now. Steve Cannon, the CEO of the Atlanta Falcons and Mercedes-Benz Stadium and everything that goes along with it. Steve, appreciate you taking the time to join us on this Wednesday evening, and congratulations on the award.
Really honored to be with you guys. Couldn't be more thrilled to pick up
USAA Salute to Service Award on behalf of our Falcons team. We got a bunch of passionate people who care deeply about our military, and the fact that I am the fourth out of 5 years to pick up the Salute to Service from our organization, that's pretty special.
Steve Cannon joining us here on the Blitz. He is the CEO of AMB Sports Entertainment and the Atlanta Falcons. The Salute to Service Award, certainly goes to those that honor and take care of our military types. You have actually lived that life. Tell us a little bit about your history. Long before you were an Atlanta Falcon suit, you were wearing fatigues and staying busy, weren't you, sir?
I sure was. So I started my military career at West Point. I graduated from West Point in 1986, and then I went into the field artillery and was stationed in Germany. Had a really unique kind of period. I was on the East German Czechoslovakian border when the wall came down, so I was there, kind of front row seat at the end of the Cold War, and just had an amazing military experience that was 5 years long. And I traded my fatigues for a business suit. But even though I changed uniform, I feel like I still continue to serve. And the fact that I'm now with the Falcons, but have the privilege to kind of use our platforms to shine a spotlight on service and sacrifice, that's really meaningful.
I got to ask, Steve, reading your bio, before you got the job with the Atlanta Falcons, you were running Mercedes USA. How does a field artillery officer go from that to running Mercedes?
I feel like I'm Forrest Gump. I landed in the right place at the right time. Had a couple of good moments in my career where opportunity kind of went my way, and had a phenomenal sort of 20 plus years in the car business that culminated with that CEO of Mercedes-Benz USA. Was an amazing experience. And then had this incredible opportunity to go work for Arthur Blank, right? One of the most significant entrepreneurs of the 20th century, the co-founder of Home Depot, and join him with the Atlanta Falcons, building out Mercedes-Benz Stadium, building out the Atlanta Falcons and the PGA Tour Superstores. So yeah, I kind of pinch myself every single day that I've landed in this position, and with that kind of comes the realization that you got to give back and share these platforms, and that's why this Salute to Service Award is so meaningful. It essentially means that we've used our platform for more than just profit and loss. It's about contributing to the community, and in this case, shining a spotlight on our service members around the world. So the fact that the Salute to Service Award has come our way to the Atlanta Falcons again means we're getting it right more often than not.
Well, and you are getting it right, and you certainly understand military, especially with your prior experience and being a West Point guy, and the track record of Falcons getting it actually does lead to a Dallas Cowboys question. You're a former coach, Dan Quinn, who won this award a couple of years ago, now the defensive coordinator with the Dallas Cowboys. And you're talking to a radio station that's in Cowboys country. Obviously you guys with the Falcons made the decision to move on. What kind of guy are the Cowboys getting in Dan Quinn as defensive coordinator?
One of the finest men, one of the finest leaders that I've ever kind of worked with. I got some really significant experiences with Dan Quinn. He and I led a small delegation, USO trip over to Iraq, where we took some of our Atlanta Falcons and got to spend 3 days around forward operating bases, meeting soldiers and spending time understanding their experience and what they do every single day on our behalf. I got to do that with Dan. I took a trip with Dan and players to West Point, and we had some really meaningful engagements. Dan is just a phenomenal guy. His care for the military is part of who he is. And when we kind of came together 5 years ago, him from his background and mine, from West Point and service in the military, it was almost like this wonderful match where we both cared deeply for the military, and we got to do some really fun and I think impactful things when we worked together. He's a wonderful, wonderful human being.
That is Steve Cannon. He is the CEO of A&B Sports and Entertainment, the Atlanta Falcons, and you heard the long list of things. And before we congratulate you once again for being the recipient of this year's Salute to Service Award, I do want to honor you with something else because of this long list of bona fides that I have seen, and certainly all well-earned. The most important thing I think you've ever been a part of is not listed. And let me tell you what that is. Back in 2019, there at the stadium in Atlanta, prices went down for a hot dog. The trend that had been skyrocketing for years, you took care of the common man, my friend, and that will never be forgotten.
Well, that comes right from Arthur Blank. That's the kind of owner that he is. He cares deeply about the people that choose to spend time with us watching the Falcons or Atlanta United, and the fact that in so many other places around the country, you get overcharged, almost gouged. Because you're a captive audience, that never sat well with him, and he has been part, and we have been part of re-architecting, the approach to concession stand pricing. And I will tell you, dozens and dozens of teams across the country have copied this approach, and it's all to the benefit of fans. So at the end of the day, if a fan decides to leave their couch, buy a ticket, pay for parking, come downtown, we should honor that. And overcharging for a hot dog is not a way of honoring that commitment. So I testimony to Arthur Blank and his approach to leadership, and I'm just glad it's caught on across the industry.
It certainly has. And Steve, I know it's been a different year with the pandemic and no fans in most stadiums. What's it been like as on the executive side, the business side of the NFL in navigating through this? We hear the stories daily of what the players are going through. What's it been like on the business side?
It's been difficult. I mean, it's a miracle that the NFL has done such a phenomenal job of responding, pivoting, adjusting, to play 256 regular season games, and now to be, in Super Bowl week, to have done all of that and to have done it where there'll be no asterisk attached to this season because we've had an absolutely legitimate competitive season in all respects. So it's been difficult on the football front, certainly difficult on the business front because, our business is mass gathering. Our business is putting 70,000 people safely into a stadium and allowing them to celebrate their team. We haven't been able to do that, but all year we spent working on protocols. How could we safely bring people in, exit? How could we clean the stadium in a way that would disinfect and minimize the distribution of the COVID virus? And so I was just thrilled that we at least got to entertain fans. About 10%, somewhere between 6,000 and 10,000 fans were there in the stands for our Falcons this season. We long for the days where we get 70,000 people back in there, but we feel pretty gratified that we were able to safely get through the season and still have fans in our stands at Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Steve Cannon, the Salute to Service Award winner presented by USAA. Congratulations, sir. You defined servant leadership. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today. Congratulations again, and thanks for all that you do.
It's been a pleasure. Both Rob, Jason, thanks for your time.
Steve Cannon, is one of those guys you've probably never heard of, but has played a huge role in the NFL as president there of the Atlanta Falcons and all the different holdings, the stadium, the MSL team, and all that goes along with it. He's done a whole lot, and a worthy award for a guy that's done a lot for a long time.
It has, and again, to go from a field artillery officer to running Mercedes, I so wanted to ask him, what Mercedes? Which one are you driving, or how many do you have in your driveway?
Can we talk about that story for just a second? Now, we talk about Arthur Blank, and he is certainly, one of the industrialists that defined this generation, as the founder of Home Depot and all that has gone on, and certainly made billions doing that. But the idea of what he is, what he is. And what this guy has done behind the scenes and the effort that he's done, it's really a remarkable thing. Coming back, let's talk Spurs. The 2 games snide. It has not been pretty, but there's always an answer. and that might be the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're actually worse than the Spurs as they come in. COVID is playing a role in this game tonight. We've got injuries on the Spurs side. We'll get you ready. Jill Jelnick of Sports Tonight, our Spurs insider, will join us next for Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. Spurs Talk next here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
You know, in San Antonio, we have some of the hardest water in the country. Jason Minix here for my friends over at Alamo Water Softeners. If your water tastes bad or has an odd smell, you definitely want to call Alamo Water Softeners. They'll come out to your house, they'll test your water, and they'll give you a free estimate on getting a new water softener. And right now, you can save $300 on select water care water softeners. Now, I've had a water softener in my home from Alamo Water Softeners for years. Wouldn't live without one. You not only, when you get a new water softener from Alamo Water Softeners, are you going to get great tasting water, but you're also going to save some money because you will extend the life of your plumbing and your appliances. Alamo Water Softeners is a great local company owned by the Townsends. I've known them for about a decade, watched that company grow over the years because they have a great product and they have great customer service. On the Nextdoor app, Alamo Water Softeners was voted a 2020 neighborhood favorite. Alamo Water Softeners is the best value for the highest quality water treatment. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference and take $300 off select water care water softeners. Go to alamowatersofteners.com to learn more. Again, alamowatersofteners.com.
Game Nights The Blitz focuses on your silver and black in depth for 30 minutes. Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Matt Bonner.
Spend your game nights with us. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
The biggest football game of the year is this Sunday. Where will you be watching? Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, now with 4 San Antonio area locations, has everything you need to enjoy this year's big game safely. Drink specials, giveaways, good eats, giveaways, sound on, and more giveaways at all 4 Slackers locations. Slackers Super Sunday is going on this weekend at all 4 locations. Visit slackersbarssa.com. Slackersbarssa.com. Or find Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar on Facebook for more info.
Your child deserves to be in the very best hands. The South Texas Early Childhood Experts at the Brighton Center are some of the most capable hands of all, earning us the Nonprofit of the Year award. The team delivers the best childhood education, therapy, and support in the San Antonio area, catering to your child's specific needs. We prepare children for kindergarten and the rest of their lives, because children aren't our job, they're our passion. Brighton Center, the right help at the right time can change a life. Visit brightonsa.org to learn more.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents and Doug.
Okay, class, let's bump it up to 9.
Come on, Limu, keep pedaling. We got to build our endurance to let more people know that Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Pick up the pace, bird legs.
Hey! Don't talk to Limu like that.
I'm not. I'm talking to you.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Get a customized quote at libertymutual.com.
Beachcombing, baking cookies, learning French. Aren't these what you'd rather be doing than thinking about your Medicare prescriptions? Well, Walgreens is here to help you get back to it with convenient refill and pickup options, expert pharmacists to answer all your questions, and Medicare copays as low as $0. 0. Which is also the number of cares in the world you'll have as you stroll the beach, eating cookies and speaking French. Oh la la. Walgreens.
$0 copays apply to Tier 1 generic drugs and select plans where Walgreens is a preferred pharmacy.
It's the 55th Annual Football Championship, and you can follow all the action at betonline.net. Tampa Bay meets Kansas City on Sunday, and all eyes from around the world will be focused on what is expected to be a classic. Being billed as the perfect matchup of all time, it's the GOAT against his successor. In 4 previous meetings, each QB has won twice. Check out all the action this week at betonline.net as a true clash of the Titans is on tap. Always available online or your mobile device. Visit betonline.net today. Bring the game home at betonline.net.
Right now, Allstate has almost as many ways to save as there are types of music. Save for being a new customer. Save for driving safely. Save for driving less with pay-per-mile insurance. Visit allstate.com or contact your local agent to get a quote. Find out how much you can save today. Allstate. Now that should be music to your ears.
Not available in every state. Savings based on early signing discount drive-bys and mile-wise. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
Upgrade to the wiper blades trusted by Rainer Zietlow to break world records. Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades are real-world proven for extreme weather performance that lasts 2 times longer than other blades. The new Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades are only available at Walmart.
Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green, the concentrated cleaner that's perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new again. Visit us at simplegreen.com.
Simple Green. Game Night San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Manu Ginobili.
This is Matt Bonner, a.k.a. the Red Rocket, a.k.a. the Red Mamba, a.k.a. the Sandwich Hunter.
Hi, this is DeJounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
Game Night San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
It is Game Night San Antonio, and it's always brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. The usual suspects are in play. He is Jason Minix. She is Jill Jelenic of Sports Tonight YOLO, Texas, our Spurs insider. I'm Rob Thompson on the top left. Pay no attention to the wizard behind the screen. That is James Pudger producing us all the way till 7 o'clock. Jill, the Timberwolves could not arrive at a better time as the Spurs are losing 2 straight. Minus LaMarcus, and we find out today Rudy Gay with some hip issues. What do we have to look forward to tonight, Jill?
Yeah, playing the worst team in the Western Conference. That, like you said, couldn't have come at a better time. The Spurs are in desperate need of a bounce-back game, and this is a silver platter. Here it is, but Jason has always been cautious when I get a little over-optimistic, and I'm going to join him on this one. Coming off of Monday's loss, oh my goodness, I would be lying if I told you I wasn't a little concerned about tonight.
You know, you think about a team like Minnesota in most cases would be the slump buster, right? I mean, that is what you need. But with this Spurs team, with what we've seen recently, I don't know. I mean, it's effort. Now, Rudy Gay won't be there, and it's actually probably going to help them on the defensive end. But with no Rudy and no LaMarcus, that's a whole lot of points you've got to make up. And for everybody that, you know, is hating on Jakob on Twitter, he's going to have to play a role tonight, a big role tonight.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Jill.
No, I was just going to say it falls on Jakob Poeltl's shoulders tonight. That's who you need to step up. The good news is he's been doing better as of late, shooting roughly 64%, okay, and averaging a little more than usual in the last 10 games, but they're going to need a whole lot of Jakob. And I would love some Poeltl jams. That's what I would love tonight. How about some Poeltl jams?
Some Poeltl jam. I don't know if I want that
Come
ever.
on.
She is Jill Jelenic of Sports Tonight joining us here on
mean
Game
he's
Night
alive.
San Antonio. Yikes. A couple things. They won't have to fend with Karl Anthony Towns. He's out with the COVID protocols. So the big man issue, I'm going to throw a narrative down for you. Now, Jakob Poeltl is certainly, there's lots of concerns and questions regarding his game. But LaMarcus has been pretty consistently one of our starters and offering good games and bad, but he's never a net negative. I think defensively, sometimes he gets a little bit abused, and offensively, the ball still dies with him late in the shot clock. But apart from that, we want him. But this is the narrative I have a feeling we're going to be looking at. He was going to be sitting out. Rudy Gay is going to be sitting out. So if I'm Coach Pop, I'm looking at this team's going, what do I got? Well, I got a bunch of guys that I can run with, that I can trap with. I've got some big guards that can rebound. So until I get a LaMarcus back and until I get comfortable with some points coming from my 5 position, all I can do is press. I gotta stay on the ball. I gotta get things moving, and that's when we have seen the Spurs at their best. So I think the narrative over the next couple of days, if I see this right, is Minnesota came at the right time. Let's go run these guys. They're going to be a little bit disheveled. They haven't played much either, but we're coming off 2 embarrassing basketball games. Look good today. Look good against the Rockets. When we see Golden State, we're not going to need a big then either. Wiseman's going to be gone. We're going to miss a little bit of Rudy, but I see the narrative. If things can go right today, not only will we see the best possible kind of Spurs game, the thing that we enjoy the most is, downhill games, 125 points. But at the same time, we will see that there is a future and a path forward with whatever we do with LaMarcus, because we don't necessarily have to have him all the time to be the kind of team we want to be a year from now? Now we kind of want him because we need the veteran leadership, but I don't think he's going to be that missed.
It's a good question, and I want to go back to what you said about what kind of Spurs team are we going to look at, not just tonight, but the next several games. Fast, young, and fast. They're going to push the pace, like you said. They need to be better in transition defense. They're going to be running the Wolves all over the place, running the table. I love that idea of not just a smaller lineup, but just a faster game offensively and sharper on defense. We can expect that. We can expect that from them because LA slows them down in that department. And I to your point about LaMarcus, I'm in that five-guy rotation. I'm sorry, but he's the weaker one to me. He's posting his lowest per game scoring and rebounding numbers since his rookie campaign with the Trailblazers. This is not the LA that we need right now. So is it the worst thing that he's out? Okay, no, but with Jakob Poeltl, it does have a lot of pressure that gets thrown on his shoulders. What I really don't like is Rudy Gay out. Luckily, Coach Pop says he could be back as soon as this weekend, but I don't like Gay out because with him, he's such a solid guy on that second unit. He's been huge rebound-wise, defensively, and just that Spurs unit overall, that bench unit, they have the fourth highest per game point difference in the league. They've been great. You take away both LA and Rudy Gay, yeah, okay, there's going to be some holes, but the Spurs, if they push the pace, they got to stay consistent, but this should be a bounce back game that they absolutely need.
It should be and all that. I'm with you there. I'm curious, Jill, with Greg Popovich in his pregame, did you get the sense that because he talked about Rudy could be back this weekend, and all I can go because he does it while we're on the air, so I mean I'm based on everybody's tweets, saying LaMarcus needs a little bit more maintenance and it might be out a little bit longer, and it says like you got two guys out with a hip flexor. This is the Tim Duncan days where everybody was out with plantar fasciitis. You got to put something to it and not call it rest, right? Is this an idea of let's see where this team is without LaMarcus as you start thinking about a trade deadline that's coming up? Could they in fact be doing this kind of as a test to see where this team would be without a LaMarcus Aldridge?
I mean, absolutely. Tonight will definitely be a test. I think the next several games will be a test. Coach Pop was unclear as to how long LaMarcus Aldridge will be out. He couldn't really speak to that, but he definitely said he'll be most likely out for more than just tonight. So yes, Jason, this next stretch with tonight's game, 3 against Houston, Rob mentioned the Warriors. This is a great stretch to see how well they can do and manage without him, especially because this is the 4th game LaMarcus Aldridge has missed this season. Spurs weren't able to win with him. Now, granted, Derek White wasn't there. It was still early in the season. I think this team has come a long way from the off season and where they started, but absolutely, this is a great measuring stick for how these Spurs can push the ball offensively and stay consistent defensively without him.
The Timberwolves sit with just 5 wins, and like you said, last in the Western Conference. They offer a lot of young talent, and if you get away from what the Timberwolves are when Karl Anthony Towns plays, and they're very good, but without him, they line up guys that are very reminiscent of what the Spurs are trying to do. Certainly, the Anthony Edwards is going to be the premier there, and he's doing some spectacular things as a rookie. But you look at a D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley tonight, Josh Okogie, and Naz Reid. This is a very young team with a lot of athleticism. They're going to be willing to run, and keep in mind they did beat the Spurs minus a Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, you mentioned 5 wins. One of those was against the Spurs.
But once bitten, that was after it was one of those Sega Babas. Let's not get past that.
Yeah, sure.
And we the night before we'd seen DeMar go get 38. So we know that DeMar's capable of going and getting big buckets against these young Timberwolves. What we'll see will be more minutes and back to where we were, I think, before Derek White got back. Those 27 minutes or whatever LaMarcus is averaging are going to be dispersed in an interesting way, and I think it's worth watching because I'm curious. The Spurs' second unit, has been the consistent part of their team, and it has been for years. Pop has very carefully manicured this second unit team to offer exactly what he wants at the right time, and Patty being the quarterback of that. But Pirtle's played a huge role in that as well. I wonder if you almost want to, get Pirtle whether he starts or not, I don't care, but it's more about the minutes and who he plays with. I wonder how many minutes we're going to see with Trey Lyles at big, or are we going to run if they can get Naz Reid out, or even if they're worried about him, this very small ball 6'7" group of guys that just keeps charging.
Well, Jakob Pirtle will start tonight. Coach Pop confirmed that. I think you're going to see a lot more of Drew Eubanks, a little more Trey Lyles, a lot of those minutes maybe go there, disperse there, like you said. But yes, I think what's going to be most interesting, Ron, to your point, is how Pop is going to manage these similar fast young guards, right? We expect nothing but consistency from Keldon Johnson. Thank goodness, the most consistent player on the team. I don't think you're going to see a change there, but where you're going to see it with Lonnie Walker. You're obviously going to see it with Derek White, who's still coming back and still trying to get his footing. You're going to see a different second unit, maybe more from Patty. I don't know. We could even see maybe less from Patty because he wants to give a little more time everywhere else. I'm very interested to see where those minutes go, but I think it will also go into the game plan of pushing the pace and trying to out-hustle, outrun these Timberwolves.
I want to go back to Pop pregame, what kind of mood. I mean, looking at some of the comments of Luka, the awful draft pick that he was and what Pop's expectations were, you generally don't see Pop that blunt in player analysis, and he was tonight. Was he in a surly mood? Did these last two games put him in a surly mood? Did he not get his wine delivery? Take me into what the Pop pregame was tonight.
No, I would say it was right on par with the 5:45 Coach Pop pregame, which is a little bit of sarcasm with a side of let me throw something in here, okay? What I love about Coach Pop from a media perspective, he always keeps us on our toes, and he makes us work for it. And Luka spoke to media this week, and Jeff McDonald from San Antonio Express News followed up on it, and that's what you love about Pop is it's either going to be straight up sarcasm, not to trust a single word from his mouth, or he's going to be very, very brutally honest with you. And I just,
what did he say about?
Like
what did he say?
He keeps you on.
What did he say about Luka? What was the retort?
Well, he just speaking to his development, his progression over time. It was, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, based on what I've seen on Twitter, which is why I am curious of it, because basically, according to the Jeff McDonald tweet, and I saw a couple others that were in there, he's got to work on his work ethic. That was something that Pop wanted him to work on in Orlando. So when you get a coach calling out a young player's work ethic, I think we all know what that means. And then also maximizing his best skills instead of trying to do everything. They want to go continue and develop them, but he didn't sound like a coach that was thrilled with the pick that he had. And anytime I see Pop questioning work ethic, and again, if he was in a surly mood, that's one thing. If he's in a normal Pop mood and then goes there, the interpretation of that could be two different things.
Concerning. It could be concerning.
I interpreted the way I think it was meant to be interpreted. Last chances are on board. Hey, when we come back, we'll look to keys to victory as the Spurs take on the lowly Timberwolves. Don't you hate it when you say things like that when the Spurs are involved? See if they can come off a 2-game schneid. We'll continue with Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. Next, here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
If you're having issues at the house with your plumbing, your heating, your AC, there is one company to call, and that is Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. 210-651-5899 is the phone number. At Quartermoon, they are full service. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. At Quartermoon, they do not have commission sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions. They have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. It's a great company to work with. And again, you're calling them, then generally something bad has happened in your life. They'll get you taken care of. Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC, 210-651-5899, 651-5899, or online, quartermoonplumbing.com.
The ESPN San Antonio 10K Payday. This hour's winning word is
lamb.
Enter that word now at ESPNSA.com. Another reason it pays to listen to ESPN San Antonio all day, every day.
Great cash, homie.
You love Southern Recipe small batches, bold pork rind flavors. Whether it's their spicy dill, Korean kimchi barbecue, or pasilla chili cheese, they've got the keto-friendly protein-packed snack that crushes all others. Want to win $5,000 plus Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for a whole year? Enter at porkrinds.com right now. Porkrinds.com. Plus, you'll have a chance to win a one-on-one conversation with a Pro Football Hall of Famer. And while you're at HEB, grab a bag of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app. Connect with your favorite radio shows through contests, social media, and podcasts. Create custom alarms with your favorite radio stations, all free with the radio.com app.
The spread of COVID-19 is still unchecked across the nation, and you need to keep your family safe. Make a new habit and check your temperatures twice a day, once before dinner and before leaving home in the morning. You can't afford to take chances, so use the Exergen Temporal Scanner. Its accuracy is backed by more than 80 clinical studies, and it takes an accurate reading in seconds. It's the only home thermometer used and recommended by hospitals, doctors, and nurses. Quick and easy to use. You can count on Exergen to keep your family safe 24 hours a day.
America's Diamond offers our 5-year, 60-month financing program every day of the year. You don't have to wait for a sale to get 5-year financing with credit approval, or wait for a sale to get our guaranteed America's Diamond price, because we treat everyone fairly and with respect every day of the year. For almost 40 years, we have designed and created our extraordinary diamond jewelry right here in San Antonio. When you buy at America's Diamond, your money stays in San Antonio. Our whole company is located here and locally owned. Our kids and grandkids go to school here. All 40 of our coworkers live and shop in San Antonio for everything. Through the years, America's Diamond has supported thousands of wonderful charity events in San Antonio. We're the official jeweler of the San Antonio Spurs and of the University of Texas at San Antonio Athletics. See our television program about diamonds and jewelry tonight on ABC KSAT 12 at 12:35 a.m. or see it right now at americasdiamond.com.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
The biggest game in the NFL is February the 7th. Where are you watching? It's still the big game, and we're still throwing a party. Get to Twin Peaks and celebrate with 29-degree draft beers, the best views of the game, scratch food to feed the whole team. Twin Peaks.
Let me tell you why I love my Spurs, man.
Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Matt Bonner.
This is Manu Ginobili. Hi, this is DeJounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
It's Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. He's Jason Minnick. She's Jill Jelnick. Sports tonight, our Spurs insider headed toward a Spurs-Grizzlies tip tonight. The Timberwolves arrive at 5-15. They lost their last. They are 2-8 in their last 10. The Spurs, a couple of losses will knock you down. They sit at 10th place, 11-10. They are 5-5 in their last 10, which is about right. And after losing 2 straight, they desperately need a win tonight. One of those kinds of wins that can springboard you into what we've been talking about all week. You know, the Spurs are in the in the part of the season where tiebreakers are being established, where things that if you're tied at the end of the season that will help you get into the playoffs or at least that pre-playoff tournament if you're sitting where the Spurs are at 10th. They need these wins. They're not the pretty wins. They're the ones that really matter at the end. And Jason, you were the first one to talk about it last. We saw the Timberwolves. They lost one up there, and that will bite them in the ass at the end of the season, I do believe. They can't let it happen again.
Well, it's the list of, the Spurs aren't good enough to have sure wins. Even a game like tonight isn't a sure bet because we don't know what we're going to see. But there are games that they are going to play if they want to be a playoff team that they can't lose. And the list of games that they can't lose is getting long. Now, they've evened some up with some wins we didn't expect them to get. But again, you can't lose games. Then you got to go steal some that you're not supposed to get if you're going to be a playoff team. All the people that were screenshotting the standings over the weekend when they had a brief cup of coffee at the 4 seed. I mean, look, but you look at how close the conference is. A couple of wins, and all of a sudden you're there. But that's why a game like this is so important. Tonight's game is almost worth 2 in the standings.
If I pop, I'm going to just say, last time we saw DeMar fully functioning against the Timberwolves, he went and got 38. If I'm Pop, I'm curious which way I want to go tonight because I am going to be down 2 of my vets. I will only have Patty and DeMar to really lead this team, one on the first and one on the second unit. How much do I want DeMar to go off tonight? Because he's capable of getting 38. Hell, that game he was capable of getting 46, 50 if he wanted to. I'm curious, guys, if you were Pop, would you go in with, we got to get a win just to right the ship, DeMar, go get this? Or do you, hope to see or want to see a little bit less DeMar to more of a team effort where we end up with 6 guys with 14 or more points?
Did you see his former teammate Fred go off last night? Yes. And DeMar was one of the first to tweet him. I think DeMar wants one of them Fred Fleet kind of games, man. I think, and this is a perfect game for it. Let him go get 55. I mean, Tony Parker got 55 once against Minnesota. Let's see if DeMar could go top that tonight. If I'm popping DeMar, man, go eat.
Absolutely. DeMar has to step up tonight. We looked at him at the beginning of the season when he was doing so well. He recorded his season high against the Memphis Grizzlies, 38 that night. We looked at him as, okay, this could be that star that the Spurs need on the team. He has proven it in fourth quarter situations, has been clutch down the line, but he just disappeared the last 2 games. What did he have? Okay, 14 points on Monday, not horrible, but still he completely vanished in the fourth quarter, especially on Saturday night's loss to the Grizzlies. I think not only does DeMar feel that, and I would expect to light the fire under his butt for tonight, but he's got to get that from Coach Pop as well. I agree with you. This is one of those, DeMar, go after this, get back on your horse kind of game.
It's funny. The Spurs have dealt with over the season several teams that are in the midst of severe, in-team trauma. We saw the Houston Rockets, and we get them the day after James Harden is shipped out and all that he had called them. We've gotten the Memphis Grizzlies after essentially 2 weeks off due to COVID, and here we go again. The Minnesota Timberwolves arrive with almost 2 weeks off from COVID. The other teams reacted quite well to the things that they were going through, and I have a feeling that Pop has got to be emphasizing that the reason we lost to Memphis, I firmly believe, was they just had more intensity on 2 consecutive nights or 2 consecutive games. They came to play, and you guys thought they had taken time off and weren't going to be ready. And when you dealt with the Houston Rockets, you felt like that was a team that had been whipped like a dog. This was a G League team that Harden had made fun of to get out of town. So you thought you'd own them, and they came and they beat you. And then you went up against the Timberwolves after, hanging 38 on them one night and just gave them a home game. I would like to think Pop was a little surly with his team tonight because these are the teams, like Jason keeps saying, you got to beat these teams. If you think you're a playoff team, hell, if you think you're even going to contend, you got to beat a Minnesota Timberwolves team that hadn't played in 12 days and is minus their best guy. These are the things that you've got to get done.
Well, they come in rested. It's not like the Spurs used up a whole lot of energy in those losses to the Grizzlies. So, I mean, they only worked halfway through those games. I mean, they were half-ass efforts. So, the legs should be fine for a game like tonight.
Game Night San Antonio is always brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. She is Jill Jelnick of Sports Tonight, our Spurs insider. Call her stuff at all at YOLO, Texas as well. He's Jason Minix. Tomorrow, our big game coverage will continue with a little bit of a basketball flavor. Of course, we'll talk all things big game as the car wash continues. LaFonso Ellis will join us. We'll talk some basketball as the Duke North Carolina game, while it's not quite as important as neither one of them is in the standings right now, they are going to go at it. College basketball is starting up, and all the big game coverage will continue. Jason, Jill, thanks for tonight. Game Night San Antonio. We'll sum it all up tomorrow.
The Blitz, weekdays 4 to 7.
Behind the scenes with Don Harris. Good luck. And, man, we do thank you for stopping by.
Hey, fellas, now that I'm working from home and I drive in every day, I'm listening to you guys all the time. I love the show, man. Keep it up.
I appreciate it, man. I read your tweet and your text and say, hey, man, here's the background.